From exclusive items to portion sizes, we wanted to find all the differences between KFC in the US and Italy. This is Food Wars. New season, Italy, new host. I want to introduce you to a familiar Food Insider face, Claudia.
Let's start with the original recipe chicken. If you're buying just the original chicken, you can get a 2-piece. One is huge. We also have lots of bucket options, but most of them combine the original recipe, wings and tenders. If you only want the original chicken, the largest size we have is a 6-piece bucket. Looks a bit scary. The other bucket options include a variety of chicken, such as tenders and hot wings. For example, if you want to feed 2 people, you can get the 10-piece bucket. This contains 4 tenders and 6 crispy tenders. And if you want to feed 4 people, you can get this big boy here. This one is a 16-piece bucket and contains 4 original recipe, 4 tenders, 4 crispy tenders, and 4 wings. This is actually the biggest thing on the menu.
In the US, KFC's chicken comes in 4 portion sizes. You can start off by getting a 1-piece a la carte, then a 2-piece with a combo, a 3-piece with a combo, and a 4-piece with a combo. All of which come with the side of your choice, a biscuit, and a drink. Then for the buckets, we have an 8-piece, the 12-piece, and last but not least, this luscious bucket, 16 pieces of chicken. Dinner is served in America. You can get those in either original or crispy. That makes our biggest bucket 166% bigger than Italy's.
I've actually never really had KFC before. Chicken is not so popular in Italy, like especially fried chicken served like that, so I'm really curious to try it and see. Yeah, nice. Not a lot of spices, it's just like fried chicken, which is what we promised.
Let's see how 1 chicken drumstick weighs compared to Italy.
64 grams.
97 grams. Is anyone surprised that the chicken in the United States is bigger than every other country we've done this Food Wars with?
In Italy, we also have hot wings, and they come in a 5-piece and in an 18-piece bucket. This one is designed for 3 people.
18 wings in the US is definitely for 1 person, not 3. I could have 6 wings and then have a full meal.
So they're advertised as hot wings. I think to an Italian palate, yeah, you could say these are spicy.
We also got wings here in the US. Now, currently, at least the KFC I went to here in Burbank has 1 size of wings, the 8-piece. I'm gonna go ahead and take the bones out. Crispy. Heat I can notice that isn't overwhelming, perfectly fine.
Next are the fries. In Italy, you can get 3 sizes, small, medium, and large.
In the US, we got 2 sizes of fries, the individual and the large.
Let's weigh our biggest size.
I never grow tired of that. Is this the lowest we've gotten? We've gone to the same KFC every time. Apparently they have fired that scooper because he or she was being too generous.
In Italy, KFC offers drinks in 2 sizes, a medium and a large.
Drinks in the US get 2 fountain drink sizes, the regular and the large. I will point out to you, Claudia, and the rest of Italy that our regular, the smallest drink you can get at a KFC, is 591 milliliters, which is much bigger than your large. But if you really want your thirst quenched, you can get yourself the big boy. That is a half gallon, 64 fluid ounces, or 1,892.7 milliliters of beverage.
Let's measure the large one to see if that's true.
It's supposed to be 887. Let me just even get it up to 800. Whoa, this is just 800. The messes that this show forces me to make. If you are incredible at balancing and you don't want a cap, I guess this is okay if you're just gonna sit at your table like.
Here's everything that you can get at KFC in Italy that you won't find in the US.
Here's everything you'll find at a KFC in the US you won't find in Italy. We have 1 exclusive chicken option you can't get in Italy. That is the extra crispy. This is probably close to what you get in your original recipe. And then you got the extra crispy. I mean, obviously it's night and day. Volume up on this one. This is regular. And of course, the extra crispy. If you're wondering, yes, Way better. Way more flavorful.
We don't have extra crispy chicken here in Italy, but if you order tenders, you're gonna get original and crispy. It does look much crispier. It also looks, just looks much sadder as well, because it's like literally flopping. At least I can see the chicken, I can see some meat in there. This one is like completely hidden in the batter, like it could be anything.
Another exclusive are the KFC nuggets. You can get these in varieties of 5, 8, 12, and 36. I went with the 5-piece. Now, Claudia, take a good look at this. You in Italy have popcorn chicken. Besides potential size differences, I really don't know what else is different about these.
In Italy, we don't have nuggets, but we have popcorn chicken. We got the large, but it comes also in small and medium.
Quietly, sometime last year, KFC just took popcorn chicken off the menu. And I'm pretty bummed about that. I mean, I like the nuggets, but the popcorn chicken, man, it's just something because they're a lot smaller, and then the chicken to skin ratio is more in favor of the skin. So you get a lot of that savory skin in there. RIP popcorn chicken. You're very lucky, Claudia. You are very lucky.
Were you guys like the guinea pigs for this, or are we the guinea pigs for like a new recipe or something? I think I prefer a whole piece. Like, I think binging on like little bits of chicken, it's like so un-Italian that I'm not sure that I'll be getting used to that.
Snacking on little bits of fried chicken while in a convenient to-go box while driving or walking around is so American, and I love it. I gotta try this. No, this is what America's all about.
Let's move on to the chicken sandwiches. In Italy, we have the zinger. This is supposed to be Italy's version of the spicy chicken that you guys have in the US. I don't know, Joe, how does that look like? Similar?
Yes, Claudia, your zinger sandwich looks a little bit like our spicy chicken sandwich. Here's ours, and we only have pickles on ours, so no lettuce and tomato.
But after I took a bite, you can see there's like some red here. So that's supposed to be the spice. There's like the tiniest spice, to be honest. Then moving on, we have this tiny little thing, the crunchy or crunchy. This one here is on the value menu, so it's more cheaper option. And then we got the Colonel, named after Colonel Sanders. We don't really have colonels here. Nothing we do, but we keep them for the army. I don't think they've ever opened a chicken restaurant. Then we got the double Colonel. Does that mean that another person joined? Then we have the Kentucky chicken and bacon. I have to say this is the biggest bacon that I've seen in like Italian fast food chains. This to me feels quite thick. You can also get this one in a double. And then we have the chicken grilled, so much sauce, sad lettuce hanging off mayo. You can also get the double crispy, which is 2 chicken tenders in a bun.
Here are sandwiches you can get in the US you can't get in Italy. Starting down here, the classic chicken little. I don't know, it's just a tender in between 2 buns. Here's what I would do. I would go to KFC, I'd stand in line, I'd order my meal and get one of these, and then demand they give me this while I wait for the rest of my food. It's nothing, it's like an appetizer. And then of course, just the regular chicken sandwich. I have said on record several times that I think KFC might have the best fast food chicken sandwich in America. There's also apparently an ultimate barbecue fried chicken sandwich that was new. I think it came and went.
As an Italian, I'm not so big on chicken burgers. I think the idea of having chicken in a burger doesn't really resonate so well with us. It's like almost hurts my eyes. There's just too much brown in it. Like, I want to see more color.
Yeah, that's absolutely not the case here. As you can see, our chicken is deep fried and covered in a mayo-y sauce. We're eating chicken all the time in America. Yeah, we eat a lot of beef, but we also eat a lot of chicken, and it is in no way diet food here, not at all.
We also used to have twister wraps here at KFC in Italy, but sadly, they're not on the menu anymore. They're still worth mentioning though, because of the hilarious advertising campaign. When KFC launched them in Italy, they actually designed Italian leather handbags supposed to hold your twisters, which is a bit of a knockoff to like the Fendi baguette bag.
All right, we might not have Italian bags for our wraps, but we do have KFC Crocs. Look how cool those look. We do have a couple wrap options. You only get them through the KFC application, which is not how I ordered. Anyway, get the classic one with a crispy tender. There's also a spicy one that I assume is spicier. And apparently you can get 2 of them for $5, which is a pretty good deal, but I didn't get them. Here's a few hilarious things you can't get in Italy. Over here's the famous bowl. Yes, Claudia, I know you're dying to know all about this, so I will tell you now. It is nuggets, mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, cheese, all in one convenient tub. So this would be, I guess, what's considered a bite. It's really heavy. It's gotta be 90% mashed potato. It's a lot. Another American exclusive is this, a chicken pot pie. Look at the size of this thing. I think this would just profoundly confuse every Italian. Here's the thing about the mashed potatoes and gravy. You have to get them together. Having them separately seems very strange to me. It is a classic US side dish, especially with things like fried chicken. Apparently, when Colonel Sanders sold the business, he compared the mashed potatoes in a Manhattan store to wallpaper paste topped with sludge, but that was back in the 70s, so hopefully they've made some improvements. I'd say that they have.
I mean, I know like those mashed potatoes look so dry. I understand you want to put some sort of liquid on them. I just not have any of it. But for once, the potatoes don't look like radioactively yellow, so that should be a good sign. We happen to have some Italian-style sides here on the menu, although I have no idea who called this Italian style because none of these really look Italian to me. We have cheese puff. To me, this look like fried baby bells. That's the only cheese that I can think of that has this shape. I think it's some kind of mozzarella. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we have bread, just like funny bread. It looks very dry just by looking at it. And then we have corn on the cob. The US has off the cob. This is like not Italian. I've never seen an Italian person having corn on the cob. In Italy, we also have 4 salads, but we were not able to get them today. Those are grilled chicken, crispy chicken, an original chicken, which we don't know how that differs from the crispy one, and a veggie salad.
Right, Claudia? Look at that. Look at that mac and cheese. It's American mac and cheese.
I mean, I don't really have thoughts about mac and cheese because to me that's just not Italian. We just sort of gave up on it and be like, you want it, it's yours.
Yeah, I get it. Like bright yellow. But Claudia, what you can tell is how good this tastes. Other US sides you can get here. Coleslaw. Claudia was talking about corn on the cob. We got corn off the cob, AKA sweet corn. I'm just thinking in terms of the American experience. I don't want to be all like doing this at my desk. Get KFC for lunch, you know, I just want to eat it and get going. So another thing we have here, biscuits. And I feel like you get these with these types of meals because it's good at sopping up things, like good at sopping up the gravy. On their own, they're just so... I want to see if I can eat one like without any liquid, like how long it takes me to eat a dry one. Ready? This is how dry these are. Ready? Timing, go. I'm only halfway through it. Oh, it hurts to swallow. Time. Yeah, not my favorite. Another exclusive you can get here in the US is a piece of a la carte chicken. I feel like if you went into a KFC in Italy and was like, I just want one drumstick, they'd give it to you. I don't think they'd really push back on it. But our menu specifically has, you can get an individual piece of chicken, you get a drumstick, a thigh, or a breast. You get chicken in this hand, famous bowl in this hand, and walk right into traffic. Sauce talk, let's go!
Discorso delle salse. In Italy, we have some exclusive sauces, starting from the original. I know you guys in the US have the KFC sauce. Does this look similar? I think if I were making sauces, I would have just continued, you know, trialing others after this one.
Yeah, it's like a mayo-y barbecue ketchup.
And then we have the smoky barbecue sauce. And then we have the sweet imperial sauce. That's a sweet and sour sauce. Very lemony, but fresh. Yeah, it's a nice one, I like this. Then move on to the too hot for you, jelly-like. It's not too hot for you, it's just too bad for me. Moving on, we also have garlic sauce. I know you guys associate Italy and Italian cuisine with garlic. Please stop doing that. We don't really like it. Then we have a fresh pepper one. This one apparently contains cheese, Tastes like not much, to be honest. We also have creamy curry. Finally, we couldn't get the only olive oil, but we do have olive oil and white vinegar and olive oil and balsamic vinegar. I don't know if you want to consider olive oil a sauce. I have like mixed feeling about it because that's definitely more a dressing. Are you curious to see how chicken olive oil tastes like? Let's try it. Olive oil and balsamic vinegar, let's see. Kind of brought it back to life a little bit because it had cooled down. Yeah, I should do this more often actually. It tastes less fried for some reason because I always associate olive oil with like grilled chicken. So if you want to, trick your mind into thinking that you're eating grilled chicken and not fried, maybe all you have to do is pour some olive oil on it.
Honey mustard, honey barbecue. That's good. Buffalo ranch. If you are unaware, we have a sauce here that usually is on wings called the buffalo sauce. It's like a vinegary hot sauce that is a little north of mild. And the reason that buffalo ranch is a thing is because when you eat buffalo wings and they're spicy, you dip the wings in ranch, a second sauce, to cool it down. So we as Americans are used to pairing buffalo sauce on the wings with ranch dressing. So they were like, let's just put it in one. Because God forbid, we have two sauces. But if you want to have just regular ranch, everyone on the internet, come at me, all right? Ranch is just okay. It all tastes the same. Also, we have a hot sauce, a honey sauce.
We have a lot of dessert options here in Italy. Most of them are just ice cream. We start from a plain ice cream cone. Then you can get sundaes. They come plain, caramel flavor, Nutella, strawberry, and chocolate. And then we have these, the cream balls. They come with Nutella flavor, caramel, strawberry, and chocolate. They're kind of similar to a sundae, but they have this crunchy bottom. And apparently the caramel one is supposed to have lots of layers. This is the caramel one, but I'm not sure we can judge the number of layers because it has absolutely melted. So we got a Nutella cream ball and a caramel one. You know those like backpacks for cats? I think it's like the same thing here. Curious about the crunchy bottom. Oh, yeah, that is crunchy. Actually, it reminds me a little bit of, the algida, the cornetto. It may have another name in the US, and they have that crunchy bit at the bottom. I mean, for us Italian, Nutella is like DOG chocolate. Before chocolate always comes Nutella. Just no questions asked. It's always been like this. And before cream as well.
The only exclusive dessert option we have in America is this, a chocolate cake. And it just occurred to me, I've actually never had this cake. Let's see how we did. Perfect. Cooked beautifully. It's got the right amount of bounce. Isn't dried out. And now we taste it. Exquisite. You keep baking like that, you're gonna win this competition. I was started off as Gordon Ramsay. Every impression I do of anyone is just kind of that. This is actually pretty good. Yeah, they had those balls, those cream balls, which is kind of a weird thing to call it. No, I don't want any of those. I get it. I like dessert just as much as the next guy, but KFC, I want to load up on fried chicken. I want to load up on mac and cheese. I want to load up on mashed potatoes. I want to load up on corn. If only someone could put it all in one bowl for me. Dessert, no. I want to eat fried chicken until I'm about to burst, and then I'm out, so.
The exclusive drinks in Italy are 7-Up, Lipton iced tea, and beer.
Fountain drinks you can get in the US. We do have a bunch of exclusives. I didn't get every single one. Relax. All right, starting down here. Sweet tea. Oh yeah, their lemonade. It's really good, it's addictive. And our lemonade is not carbonated. It's still Mountain Dew. It's fantastic. And the reason I saved this one for last is something you can get exclusively at the KFC in the US. There's Mountain Dew Sweet Lightning. It's so good. Like, you just know it's like super sweet and super chemically, but I love it. Other drinks you can get at a US KFC that we did not get was Starry and Blackberry Lemonade, which is currently unavailable. Which country is getting a better deal on its KFC? Let's compare a few menu items to find out. Looking at the chicken sandwich combo meal, which comes as a side and a medium drink, this whole thing in Los Angeles would cost you $10.99. Note, if you got each item individually, added up, it would be $12.77.
In Italy, you can also get a similar meal that is called a zinger meal, and that includes a sandwich, a side of choice, and a drink. This will cost you €10.40. At the time of recording, that is equal to $11.52. So that is 5% more expensive than the US meal. If you order these items individually, that will cost you €13.60, and that's about $15.06.
We also took a look at KFC's most expensive items.
In Italy, the most expensive item on the menu is the 16-piece bucket. This one costs €42.90, which is about $47.51. This is supposed to feed 4 people for $11.87 per person.
The most expensive item on the US menu is the 16-piece chicken meal, which includes 16 pieces of chicken, original or crispy, 4 large size, 8 biscuits, and it costs you $52.99. Now this is meant to feed 7 to 8 people, sure, and it costs roughly $6.62 per person, which is 44% cheaper than Italy's per person cost.
Italy KFC puts a lot of efforts in these meals and special offers so they can be better value for money. Personally, in Italy, we're not really used to having meals. We're very accustomed to just having a big main course. That to me still feels a bit of an American thing, but this is American food, so I guess we're using their customs as well.
If you're operating under the assumption that this is for 7 people, it's a pretty good deal. But you and I both know this ain't for 7 people. We want to see if there are any similarities in the nutrition of KFC for both countries. Now this is our chicken sandwich, and it has 650 calories. And if you'll notice, there's a lot of salt and fat in this sandwich, over half your daily recommended intake.
KFC Italy doesn't disclose their calories on their website. Actually, I think disclosing nutritional information like calories and everything, I find that's quite an American thing. That doesn't mean it's like good or bad. It's just like we don't really tend to count calories in things.
Every Food Wars we've done, all the nutrition info, all the ingredients info in the US, you can get it, no problem. Other countries, they don't provide it.
Let's take a look at some ingredients that KFC uses here in Italy. Here are all the ingredients for the fries. 9 is a lot. Potatoes and frying oil, how about 2? 2 ingredients, and a bit of salt and 1 chemical. Let's just use 1, if we had to.
And here are all the ingredients of the fries in the US. 33 ingredients, that's 24 more than the ingredients in Italy's fries. That's nuts.
9 ingredients for this thing, and it doesn't even hold its shape. I would expect it to be like perfect.
There's a lot of flavors and colorings that we use, like paprika, turmeric, and annatto extract color, which is funny we put that into the fries, but when making this, KFC also uses bleached white flour, which removes all the color, so it seems kind of counterproductive. Like, they're taking all the color out with the bleached flour, right? And they're putting all those chemicals back in to make them look like fries. I don't know why we do that either.
So let's have a look at the ingredients for a chicken drumstick. Italy's chicken uses a lot of flavor enhancers, gums, and stabilizers. For example, xanthan gum and guar gum. They are used in meat products to keep the chicken tender during the cooking process. These gums are also used for chicken that has a butter around it so that when it's fried, it absorbs less oil. As I said before, Italians don't really look at ingredients, nutritional value of things. And that is why I think there is a lot of work done beforehand for us in order to make the food as simple as possible so that if you do look at the ingredients, you're not so shocked by it.
And here are the ingredients of the chicken in the US. Surprisingly smaller than Italy's list. Although the US has not noted what oil they use for frying like Italy has, so it would probably add a few more ingredients. Now, KFC actually uses pressure frying instead of deep frying like the other chains, as it allows for faster cooking time and always keeps the meat moister as less steam evaporates. Let's take a closer look at a few ingredients that some of us may not recognize. Okay, first up, sodium phosphate. Now, it helps stabilize the pH of the food to keep them together, but is also popular over-the-counter medicine for bowel movements. So don't be surprised if eating KFC makes you rush to the bathroom. Next up, monosodium glutamate. Flavor enhancer commonly added to soups and processed meats. We're putting these names on screen, right? This word looks like this and is probably pronounced dimethylpaloxylexane.
Dimethylpaloxylexane.
Is an anti-foaming agent derived from silicone, usually added to oils, jams, and canned vegetables. Disodium, dihydrogen pyrophosphate? This should be a contest. Anyway, okay. Prevents potatoes in the fries from turning brown due to oxidization, which is natural for most fruits and vegetables. And just to add that all these ingredients have been approved by health professionals, and there are no safety concerns as long as they're eaten in lower quantities, which in general is good advice for eating fast food. Chickens in the US are free of added hormones and steroids. However, KFC does not disclose much else about how the chicken is prepared, nor how much chicken is used per item. As of 2019, Yum Brands, the parent company of KFC, stopped purchasing chicken raised using antibiotics. So, I guess they're heading in the right direction.
KFC opened their first outlet in the 70s in Naples for some reason, and that didn't work out and they closed. And then they came back to Italy in 2014. The objective was to open 100 branches in 4 years. They're not quite there yet. As of 2022, the stats say that they've opened 68 branches here in Italy. Although it's been here since 2014, it does still feel pretty new. Like, Italians are not so big on like chicken, especially grilled chicken. It does still feel like a very foreign idea.
KFC is so popular in the US, maybe the most popular chicken chain, fried chicken chain at least. I think it's like the fried chicken chain to beat in the US. There's other chicken places that do chicken sandwiches, chicken burgers, but as far as like chicken on the bone, I don't know who's even competing with KFC. I guess it's Popeyes. Oh yeah, Popeyes. No, I think KFC is way more popular than Popeyes. I'd say it's better.
If a KFC opens in a new town, for example, in my hometown, they opened last year, there are huge lines. There are a lot of people that want to try it because it's really the idea of the American fast food chain that's arriving. So it's exciting, it's different. Again, it's one of those things that I think you do try it because of the hype.
KFC adaptability is weird. A couple years ago, there used to be a lot more stuff on the menu, and now it's a lot less. So their adaptability is less about making stuff that kind of caters to people's tastes, and more like, no one's getting the wings, let's just do the nuggets, let's take all this stuff off the menu, let's pare it down, go for efficiency, and probably because it's cheaper to have less ingredients. So they've adapted to, I don't know, shifts in the market or people's interest in KFC. They really don't deviate too far dish-wise from like a fried chicken or a chicken in a bun.
KFC is actually the chain that has made the least effort to Italianize the menu. I don't know, actually weirdly, I think that for this it works because the idea of eating fried chicken is so foreign to us that I don't know how would you make that Italian? You maybe put some like fried courgette flowers with the chicken? I don't know. You know, for me to even think about a similar Italian thing, that weirdly, I think this may be working the way it is. So we'll see when they will reach 100 branches, maybe sooner than we think. From calorie count to portion sizes, we wanted to find out all the differences between McDonald's in the US and Italy. This is Food Wars. Drinks at McDonald's in Italy come in 3 sizes: 250 milliliters, 400 milliliters, and 500 milliliters. We're now going to measure a 500 ml Coke to see if that's true. I think we're surpassing that. It's like just right below the 600 mark, but almost there, so quite generous.
Drinks in the US also come in 4 sizes. The extra small, which is 355 milliliters or 12 fluid ounces. The small, 474 milliliters or 16 fluid ounces. And the medium, 621 milliliters or 21 fluid ounces. And the large, 946 milliliters or 32 fluid ounces. Since we were the ones that filled this up at the restaurant, and I don't think we got it all full up, I'm gonna go ahead and fill this what I think is reasonable. I can't do it to the top because the cap is recessed. Okay, 32? Surely you jest. But there's the 32 line, not even close. It's closer to 24 than it is 32.
So fries in Italy come in 3 sizes: the regular, which is technically the small, medium, and large.
Here in America, our fries come in 4 sizes. The kids, which comes in the Happy Meal, Look at this little guy. A little guy. The small, the medium, and the large. All the Food Wars heads watching know that in the China episode, our large McDonald's fry was 175 grams. And the Japan episode, our large McDonald's fry was 190 grams. So clearly there's some difference in grammage depending on, I don't know, the McDonald's we go to, the scooper, who knows. So we're gonna weigh our large right now. Ready? Fantastic. Let's go 185. Not a bad scoop. We got a good scooper this time.
Seems pretty small, actually. What about McNuggets? In Italy, you can get a bag of 4, a box of 6 pieces, 9 pieces, and 20 pieces.
Claudia, in the US, our McNuggets are available in these sizes. The 4-piece, the 6-piece, 10-piece, 20-piece, which you also have, but we go up one more here in America. Our largest size, the 40-piece. Now, if my calculations are correct, this is double your largest size. The iconic Big Mac, both countries have it, but we're gonna compare ours to Italy's by weighing it. 226 grams for a US Big Mac.
And here is an Italian Big Mac, or Il Big Mac, as is written here, and we're gonna weigh it now. 209 grams. Here are all the items on the McDonald's Italy menu that you won't find in the US.
And here are all the McDonald's menu items from the US you won't find in Italy. Get a good look, Claudia.
Let's start from the burgers. We have a bunch of Italian burgers that you won't get in the US. The first one we got here is a chicken Big Mac. Oh, right, just destroyed chicken Big Mac. Is that being inverted? Is that supposed to look like this? The cheese helps a little bit, sauce as well. Moving on, we have a bacon Big Mac. Yeah, there's 2 strips of bacon, but they're not quite big, so it does look like maybe it's just one that's been cut in half. We got a crispy McBacon, which is like cheeseburger, double patty, and some bacon again, a bit on the side. It's funny actually because, growing up, I thought that the crispy McBacon was the iconic McDonald's item. And it's weird that it is actually an Italian exclusive.
Here are all the burgers in the US that you can't get in Italy. Starting down here, the quarter pounder with cheese. It really is just a cheeseburger that is a quarter pound of meat. It's a great go-to burger. Meat, cheese, onions, pickles, ketchup, and mustard. And if you want more meat, you get the double quarter pounder. Correct, not the half pounder, the double quarter pounder with cheese. 2 patties, more meat, more cheese. It's a fantastic sandwich.
And then we've got the first one of the My Selection range, which is a range that was designed with Joe Bastianich. He's an American TV personality and chef. This one is speck and Asiago, so yeah, very traditional. Speck is a type of cured meat. It's like a smoked ham. Yeah, it's a smoked ham from the north of Italy. It's actually very, very nice. Just very salty with that smoky flavor. It's one of my favorites. And then we have Asiago, which is a cheese made pretty much in the same area. There's also mayo and zucchini in there. A bit dry, I think. You do taste the cold cut, the speck. Just brings that saltiness, smokiness, very nice. And the cheese also is quite good. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you've noticed, but it is much bigger than the others. I mean, we can even take like bacon Big Mac, even though it's supposed to have 2 patties, it is much bigger. And then we have another My Selection burger. This one is called My BBQ. This one has got barbecue sauce, yes, I can see it, Gouda cheese and bacon. And it's all topped off with some balsamic vinegar. It does still have the same sort of fancy patty that we had before. Right, and after these very nice and fancy burgers, we have a gluten-free burger. Oh, wait, why is it coming in a bag? Ooh, yeah, yeah, not excited about this. I don't like the bread. I'm sure you can find better gluten-free bread. There are so many around.
And if you want vegetables on your burger for some strange reason, you can get the quarter pounder with cheese deluxe with lettuce and tomato and mayo. And Hit like a pocket of mayonnaise in that one. That's kind of weird. Tastes great. And you just want to go all in on the meat. You can get a double quarter pounder with bacon. Look at this. All right. It's really good, I have to say. And surprise, another thing on our menu you guys don't have. The McDouble. McDonald's has a double cheeseburger, which is double the meat, double the cheese, but also there's a McDouble on the menu. What's the difference, you ask? Well, McDouble only has one slice of cheese. As you can see from here, on top, you got ketchup, mustard, and pickles. No cheese, but the cheese is in between here. I get it, times are tough in this economy, but get the extra slice of cheese, guys, come on. I mean, we're not robots here. We gotta have some pleasure in our lives, and I think that you should get that extra slice of cheese. Absorb the cost of it. It's perfectly fine. You're doing great, come on.
Next one is another one of those my selection. It's chicken, avocado, and bacon burger. It's got a different bun, this one. Oh, fancy. All right, yeah, avocado is there. There's like cabbage. A bit less excited about that. And this one has caciocavallo silano cheese. I don't know, we can call this, sauce talk, the cheese talk. Caciocavallo comes from the same family of mozzarella. They're called pasta filata cheeses, and it's just basically the way that you make cheese when you split the milk into curds and whey. It's made in a different way. And you could say that caciocavallo is like an aged mozzarella. So it's a very versatile cheese that I think is not very well known abroad. So yeah, thank you McDonald's for making that a thing on your menu so everybody can know about it. So here's the cheese that we were talking about. It's just almost a shame it's been put there with like avocado and this cabbage. Next on we've got double chicken barbecue. After seeing all these big ones, they do look quite small. And then we have a chicken burger. This one is different from a McChicken because it has Caesar sauce and no lettuce. I think this is glue. It looks like there's a type of glue that looks exactly like that.
We also thought it'd be fun to compare Happy Meals. Here's the US one. Let's open up this box, take a look around. I'm pretty sure this is Pokemon. This one comes with kid fries, nuggets, which we got a 6-piece, and it's our Pokemon toy. Actually, get the 6-piece. It's funny, like a 6-piece still seems kind of like a lot for a kid. Pokemon themed toys coming at you these days. What is this? Okay, so we got Pikachu. Does this have any value? Because there's like rare ones, like there's ones that have a lot of value to them, but not the ones in the McDonald's ones, right? Silazard, any value? We got Tandemos. Yeah. And of course, Sandaconda. I'll go look on eBay after this and see if these are worth anything. Culturally, I have no idea what this is. I don't know, this is a thing? No, I have no idea who. I don't remember any of those names. Charizard? Silazard? Is this Silazard? Charmagarg. Okay.
In a Happy Meal in Italy, you can find 4 items. Obviously, there is a drink, then there is a main course that could be either nuggets and a hamburger, and exclusive to Italy is a chicken burger and a mac toast, which is what we got today. We're gonna see that in a moment. Then there is a side. It can either be fries or baby carrots, and a dessert. This can be either fresh fruit, Actimel, which is technically a drink, but it's a dessert here, and Parmesan. Here's our mac toast. Nice. The surprise of the day. Yeah, they're just doing some Hot Wheels collaboration. So let's have a look at what is it. I don't know. Do you think I can find a Vespa in here? Oh, cute. Little skateboard, pink one. We also have one exclusive wrap option here in Italy. It's a mac wrap with crispy chicken breast and parmesan or parmigiano reggiano. It's made in collaboration with Giallo Zafferano, which is the #1 recipe website in Italy. To be honest, I think they could have come up with a better recipe. Maybe for the wrap. The wrap does look very sad, just the actual bread. chicken looks okay.
Italy clearly has plenty of exclusive chicken sandwich options, but we have a few of our own here. Namely, the McCrispy and the Spicy McCrispy, and a deluxe version of each sandwich. Let's take a look. It looks closer to a chicken sandwich you would find at a Chick-fil-A, and then now Burger King has the Chicken King, I think. McDonald's did all the research that they do to release this, the McCrispy sandwich. Now, as you can tell, it's just pickles on here, a crispier, more natural looking piece of fried chicken, and no sauce. Does it always have no sauce? I don't like that. I don't like a place that gives you food in like assembly requirements. For the most part, I just get the sandwich the way it's supposed to be. So just put your own sauce in it. It's like, no, you put it on. Here's a deluxe of it. Yay, that has mayo. Whoa, whoop. This to me is like, yeah, do this every time. This should just be the sandwich. If you're like me and you want to spice it up, they had the spicy, oh come on, there's spicy sauce on here somewhere. Then of course they got the spicy deluxe, which of course has spicy sauce and all those veggies in there. So yeah, McDonald's still a contender in the chicken sandwich game, I feel.
Now we're on to the exclusive sides here in Italy. The first one that we got is cheesy fries. The same fry, just with a bit more bacon. We go here. Yeah, cheddar and bacon. This is like, I don't know, a very sad Italian take on poutine. On the menu next for sides, we've got panzerotti. So I'm actually very excited about these because, panzerotti are from my hometown, Bari, in the south of Italy. The main difference is that usually panzerotti, like the traditional ones, they are this big. They're like usually pretty wide. It's like a main meal. Panzerotti, normally they have tomatoes and mozzarella is the most common filling, but in Bari, again, where they are from, you can get them with ground beef, mozzarella, and cooked ham. These are actually my favorites. I used to go and get them after school. That's just, they are the perfect snack. Quite good actually. Filling is okay, but I think a real panzerotto, when you bite into it, basically all the filling should almost come out. It should like pop, like the first reaction when you eat a panzerotto, this is like, and then just sort of put your hand here and just avoid a complete mess. This brings us to the next snack, which is Parmigiano Reggiano, or Parmesan. This is one of the most counterfeit cheeses in the world, so in Italy, but also in Europe, because of this whole protection thing, anything that's called even Parmesan, not the real name, Parmigiano Reggiano, is in fact the real thing. So at least we're safe on that side. Having said that, I think most of the Parmigiano that you will find around, in supermarkets, is like been aged for the bare minimum, which is 12 months. So it is good, it is the real thing, but if you can choose, just have something that's been aged for a bit longer. I think in Italy we do eat a lot of cheese as a snack, like as it is, and I do have definitely memories of like me coming back from school, and then just in the afternoon grabbing some cheese off the fridge and like having a couple of slices or even more than that. I think my mom still does that, so sorry for exposing you, Mom. Love it. Over here we got another exclusive. There are actually 3 salads on the menu. One is just a plain salad, one is a salad with tomatoes, and then we got one with crispy chicken breast and parmesan. We could also select a dressing, and we added olive oil. You could also get a tiny bottle of balsamic vinegar or just vinegar.
We actually have no exclusive sides in the US. Every side option in our menu can also be found in Italy. I will say though, I love that they have a stick of cheese as a side, kind of like a palate cleanser. I would love that. I would love to snack on cheese. I love snacking on cheese. We should have more cheese is what I'm trying to say. We could bring it back with the sauces. It's time for Sauce Talk, Italy edition. La 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 sauce talk. That had to offend somebody.
Sauce Talk.
We have several exclusive sauces here in the United States, including spicy buffalo, and then we have ranch, honey mustard, sweet and sour. Now I have 2 because one is from the movie Loki, apparently. And of course, you just get honey. Of all these, I'd probably go sweet and sour. But barbecue, which they do have, is my favorite.
We have one exclusive sauce in Italy, which is spicy mustard sauce. Yeah, it is a bit spicy. Not so much though. Doesn't numb your tongue. I think actually it has a sweet aftertaste for some reason.
For the early risers, there are plenty of exclusive breakfast items at the US McDonald's, and they're all savory. Now, first thing I want to talk about are the biscuits. I'm not the person to describe American biscuits to the rest of the world. They should have hired a poet. This is the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, but you can get a biscuit version of any meat or cheese combination that you want. In the middle here, though, Italy. Claudia, everyone, look at what I'm about to show you. You know what pancakes are, you know what syrup is, and you obviously know what breakfast sandwiches are. This right here is a McGriddle, and they replaced the buns with this. These bun pancakes. This is a pancake, Italy. A pancake. These here. And they somehow injected syrup in them, so it's not like syrup like a sauce, it's just like already syrup somehow. And it is savory and sweet at the same time. It is so delicious. It's a McGriddle. It's fantastic. I love these. This is a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle, but once again, you can get it in any various sausage, egg, and or cheese combination that you want. McGriddles. Check them out. I am the McGriddle #1 fan over here. In the OG breakfast sandwich, this is the Egg McMuffin. They got the big breakfast with or without hotcakes. I went with hotcakes. You got eggs, bacon, pancakes, English muffin. This thing's fantastic. And if you want to just get hotcakes and sausage, you can also do that. And each order of pancakes comes with our hotcakes syrup. I think an unsung hero of the McDonald's breakfast menu. Been a fan of this for years. It is the sausage breakfast burrito. Now, let's be honest. Italy, in case you're wondering, this in no way represents an actual burrito. I want to make that perfectly clear. I would not put this in the same category as any sort of burrito, breakfast or otherwise, but it's its own thing, and I think it is fantastic. It is in a flour tortilla, scrambled eggs, sausage, yes I know, peppers, cheese, and the secret weapon is this, their Mexican style salsa. Again, there is nothing authentically Mexican about this, but it tastes great. This was a go-to for years. I could put away about 4 of these. McDonald's also does offer oatmeal, specifically fruit and maple oatmeal. Moving on.
The Italian McDonald's also sells breakfast items. We've got, that's super sad. We got scrambled eggs with bacon and a muffin and bread, which does look more like a muffin. And then we have a McMuffin with bacon and egg. Yeah, Italians don't really have savory breakfast. It's definitely a habit, like you just associate breakfast with sweet items.
All right, the US also has their own exclusive McCafe items. Where'd they go? The McDonald's is near our studio did not have the McCafe food items.
McDonald's in Italy has really made an effort with the McCafe menu items, and there are really a lot of items on the menu here. So let's start from the croissants. We've got quite a few on the menu. I think this one here, because you can see a little bit of brown, this is the cocoa one with sourdough. Pretty safe to eat. This is the plain one. Does look more like a French-style croissant. Nice layers in there as well, some air over here. It's quite hard to tell, but there is a subtle layer of jam. This is berries and cereal. So the dough, it's a little bit stiffer, and yeah, it does smell a little bit more like cereals. Same amount of jam that as in the others. Not very generous, actually. I think this one is the last one that we got, so it's the custard. This looks like we have a bit more in there. Obviously, it's hard to tell because the custard is the same color as the dough, has kind of turned the dough yellow. Nice. Lots of lemon in there. Another pastry option that you can get is this cream braid. This is quite a typical thing as well in Italy. Like, you do get this kind of pastries. You can get them also savory in like different regions of Italy. Let's see if they were generous with the cream here. Yeah, I'll say so. I prefer this cream. In Italy, you can also get some cakes. We have tiramisu, which is, yeah, a traditional Italian thing, but not a breakfast item. Like, I wouldn't really have breakfast with tiramisu. I know you guys want to hear the opinion of an Italian, so we're gonna try this tiramisu and see if it's proper. Yeah, it's quite good actually. We do have other cakes as well. We have this one, which is torta della nonna in Italian, and that literally translates to grandma's cake in English. This one has lemon custard and pine nuts. I think it's a bit of a joke that this is actually called grandma's cake, just because, you know, every Italian grandma that's good in the kitchen will be able to make something like 100 times better than this. We've got a strawberry cheesecake. Let's move on to this 3-layer chocolate cake. It's like an absolute beast. It's a bit too much. I wouldn't have this for breakfast. And then we have a few more items here at the McCafe in Italy. We have a marshmallow donut, which looks like the most artificial thing I've ever seen. Then we've got a Nutella muffin. It is true that Italians love Nutella and they eat it all the time. You know, again, when I was a child, my parents used to hide it. Sad. And the last item that we've got is macarons. We have chocolate macaroons, raspberry macaroons, and pistachios macaroons, or pistacchio as we do say here. Oh, the inside is like dangerously green. They don't taste so much like pistachio, to be honest.
Desserts, McDonald's, US. We have these exclusives. Starting down here, the baked apple pie. The day they stopped frying these is the day I stopped eating them. Now they're pulling this with like, trying to make it look like it's a homemade pastry. It's not. This was just spit out of an AI oven machine. Blip, blip, blip. 1 a second. No human, I'm the first human hand to touch this. Also, chocolate chip cookies. They come in orders of 1, 3, the trilogy, or a tote of 13. One good thing about the McDonald's we went to today is the McFlurry machine was totally working, and I got this one, the M&M's McFlurry. We use the mini M&M's, which are better than regular M&M's. I don't know why, they just are. Sundays, Sundays, Sundays. Maybe my favorite as a kid, the caramel sundae. Ooh, that's my childhood right there. And you can get a fudge one as well.
For Italian exclusive desserts, we have pistachios McFlurry, then a Baci Perugina McFlurry. Baci Perugina are very popular chocolates. They are made in Perugia, which is in the center of Italy, a town in the center. And here we have a coffee sundae. It's quite nice that they actually gave us the espresso so that we can make our own, a bit like an affogato in a way. The other sundaes are caramel, berries, another Baci Perugina again, and fior di latte, which is basically the Italian version of vanilla. Ooh. Nice, yeah.
Now on to the cold drink options, starting down here. All the soda options you get here in the US, of course we have way more than Italy, starting with Dr. Pepper. Oh, come here. So fantastic. Diet Coke. Now, this completely unnatural looking thing is High C Orange Lava Blast. It's not carbonated, but it's also not juice. I can't explain it. It's high C. You can also get a sweet tea and an unsweetened iced tea at McDonald's. What I did feel like getting was this, the frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry. Oh God, it's so sweet and so syrupy. Don't drink this. Don't give it to children. Don't have it ever. You also have a Coke version, frozen Coke. Also, don't bother. Lemonade though. So we found out that lemonade in America is the least different from lemonade in the UK. Again, this is not carbonated. It's not really juice. It's something different. I don't know what lemonade is like in Italy, but oh man, it's so tart and so good. On to coffee drinks, or should I say cold coffee drinks from here to here. Understand that's not a thing in Italy, which I think is hilarious. This giant glass right here is iced coffee. You can also get it caramel flavored or French vanilla flavored. I went with black, the ace of spades right here. Oh man, they do something with their coffee there. They do something where it tastes like it's really roasted. I mean, I'm sure it's not. You also get a iced latte, but this over here is a frappe. You can get a mocha frappe or a caramel frappe. Basically, if you're an adult and you want a milkshake, you get a frappe. You can also get smoothies at McDonald's. We have a mango pineapple smoothie and a strawberry banana smoothie.
In Italy, we have a few exclusive drinks. Let's start with the cold options. We have Lipton iced tea, both in lemon and peach. Then we have some fruit juices. We have pear, ace, which is very popular here in Italy. It should be very orange. It's a mix of orange, carrots, and lemon. Yep, very orange. And it's named ace, which is ACE, after the 3 vitamins that these fruits, or like vegetables, I guess, this carrots contains. And then we got peach fruit juice.
And here are our McDonald's hot coffee drinks. Coffee, right, Italy? All right, we get it. We went a little overboard with our coffee drinks here in America. And McDonald's, of course, is no different. You can get a caramel macchiato, a caramel cappuccino. Why are we doing so much caramel stuff in America, right? Caramel latte. You can also get it in vanilla. Don't. You can also get a mocha latte. We have a premium roast coffee. As I said before, I don't know what they're doing at McDonald's, but I like the coffee. But you can also get, finally, a black hot tea. What is this? The UK? Ugh.
The hot drinks exclusive to Italy are obviously the king of hot drinks, espresso. Then we got a Moroccan coffee, which is not Moroccan in the sense of it's not Moroccan style coffee. But weirdly enough, and to be honest, I never really understood this, it's named after a type of Moroccan leather that looks this color. Honestly, it's like an espresso with some milk. And then we got ginseng coffee and barley coffee, which technically shouldn't really be cold coffee because it contains no coffee. It has just barley. And this is like an alternative for people that cannot drink coffee and they still want to have something like a little espresso after lunch. Yeah, it smells very cereally. I don't know, I'm not a big fan. And then we got just a standard latte macchiato. This is like the closest thing you will get to a latte that you will find here in Italy. So it's just a lot of milk with a bit of coffee and some foam at the top. In Italy, a Big Mac will cost you €6.10. In dollars, that's about $6.76.
A Big Mac in the US will cost you $6.29. It's a 3% price increase from Italy to the US.
What if you turn that into a combo meal? In Italy, a small Big Mac meal with medium fries and a medium drink will cost you €8.90, and that's $9.86.
Does a combo meal make a difference in the US? A medium Big Mac combo meal over here will cost you $11.42.
You can also save some money if you buy in bulk. Here in Italy, you can get a 2-person Mac menu, which includes 2 Big Macs, 2 large portions of fries, 2 large Coca-Colas, 6 nuggets for €18.
In the US, we only do Big Mac combo meals as mentioned before. So in order to get the same order in Italy, you would have to order 2 Big Mac meals plus 6 nuggets on the side. It would cost around $36, which in Italy is about €33.
Price-wise, I think they are definitely better value than other fast food chains, well, notably Five Guys. I know that one is has a reputation for being quite expensive, but I think the burger is like half the price. For the panzerotti, I think that was more than €3, €3 something, which honestly for like 3 of those as a side, it is a little bit sad. But again, I grew up in the town of panzerotti, and I used to have like a full one this size for like €2. That was 15 years ago, so maybe now it would translate into something like maybe 5 or 6.
Once upon a time, McDonald's was the cheaper option. It was a lot of food for not a lot of money. As many people probably pointed out on social media, this food is no longer inexpensive. It's not expensive, maybe because of the competition, maybe because of inflation, probably because of corporate greed. McDonald's and most fast food, I find, is not a good value anymore. Let's compare some items to see what the nutrition is of McDonald's food. A sandwich that exists in both countries and is theoretically identical is the Big Mac. In the US, a Big Mac contains 590 calories, 34 grams of total fat, 46 grams of carbs, and 9 grams of sugar.
How about an Italian Big Mac? One of those here contains 509 calories. Of these, there are 26 grams of total fat, 42 grams of carbs, of which 90 grams are sugars, and then there are 920 milligrams of sodium.
But what if we made it a combo meal? Starting with the fries, a medium fry in the US contains 320 calories, 15 grams of total fat, 43 grams of carbs, no sugar, and 260 milligrams of sodium.
While a medium fries in Italy contains 330 calories, 16 grams of total fat, 41 grams of carbs, of which 0.4 grams are sugars, and 212 milligrams of sodium.
And let's add the medium Coke into the mix. It contains 210 calories, no fat, 56 carbs, 56 of those are sugar, and 55 milligrams of sodium. That's funny, there's salt in the soda.
We'll do the same here. Here's what's inside a medium Coke in Italy. It's 168 calories, 0 grams of fat, 42 grams of carbs, 42 grams of sugar, so it's like all sugar, and 0 grams of sodium. That leaves the total for the Italian meal at this, 1,007 calories, 42 grams of fat, 125 grams of carbs, 51.4 grams of sugars, and 1,132 milligrams of sodium.
While in the US, the total ends up looking like this.
Let's talk about ingredients now. McDonald's Italy shares a lot of information actually about its ingredients. That's because the majority of the items on the menu are made with 100% Italian products. The beef, like the one that's used in the Big Mac, is sourced from over 15,000 different farms located in northern Italy around the regions of Lombardy, where we are now, in the capital of which is Milan, and Piedmont. There are apples from South Tyrol, which is where speck is made, just at the border with Austria. And just to give some recognition to the southern regions, because I'm from there, so no bias at all, we've got some apricots from the Vesuvian National Park, so in Campania, and Sicilian oranges. And when we talk about DOP, this red label here, it's what you're looking for. It's a label that's used for a lot of traditional products around the EU, and that means that they have to be made with following certain specific standards, most of the time in a very artisanal way. But that also means that certain products like Parmesan cannot be made outside of a specific area. That has to do with the climate. So for example, for cheese, the main argument is that it's a raw milk cheese, and in raw milk cheeses, you do taste what the cows eat. So obviously the grass has a different taste depending on where you are in the world.
But we do have some American-sourced ingredients for McDonald's. The potatoes used for our fries are grown in Washington at 100 Circles Farm, which is owned by Bill Gates apparently. They grow the potatoes in circles so big you can see it from space. The potatoes are then cut into fries at 70 miles per hour, which is faster than a cheetah. That's the unit of measurement? That not-so-secret ingredient to McDonald's fries is beef flavoring, which they've been doing since the 1950s. You want to see if there's any differences in the US and Italy's Big Mac? These are all the ingredients in a Big Mac in the US. Altogether, that's 68 ingredients that make up a Big Mac. That's a lot. 28 of those ingredients are in the bun, which is quite a lot for bread. The Big Mac sauce also has a lot of ingredients, 26 altogether. And it seems like we added a lot of relish to ours, which bulks out the ingredients.
In Italy, there are 54 ingredients in a Big Mac. Here they are. We only have 20 ingredients in the bun, actually, because we don't fortify the flour like you do in the US. Our Big Mac sauce has 15 ingredients, which is still 9 less than the US Big Mac, Joe. Most of the other ingredients are similar, but we don't have as many colorings or thickeners as you do in the US.
Some of the ingredients listed in our US Big Mac sauce caught our attention, so we want to explain what they are. First up, propylene glycol alginate is derived from brown seaweed and is a thickener used in foods to give it smooth, natural texture. Next up, we got hydrolyzed corn, which is a plant protein from corn or maize and is used as a flavoring for its umami taste. Sodium citrate helps cheese to melt without becoming greasy.
I did grow up with McDonald's. I definitely celebrated a couple of birthdays. Over there, I had my share of like Happy Meals with like lots of little girly toys. It is definitely considered healthier than other fast food chains because it has been around for quite some time, but also obviously because it has Italianized a lot over the years, incorporating things like Parmesan or like traditional cheeses and cold cuts, so just appealing a little bit more to the taste of like Italians. I have been to stores in the US and the UK, and Italian McDonald's seem, I don't know, a little bit fancier.
It's everywhere and made burgers and fries and sodas to go the most popular meal in the country, and then how many places followed suit with Burger King and Wendy's and all the like. And now we got chicken sandwich versions ones, we got fried chicken. McDonald'sified the entire country and the world. McDonald's is like Nike or Christianity. It's everywhere.
From calorie count to portion sizes, we wanted to find out all the differences between Burger King in Italy and the US. This is Food Wars. In Italy, our drinks come in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. We're gonna measure the large one to see how much it actually contains. That's supposed to be 500 ml. I think we're getting close to 600 actually. 140 ml extra.
Burger King in the US, our fountain drinks come in 4 sizes: value, small, medium, and large. And the large is 38 fluid ounces or 1,120 milliliters. And now I would like to measure the largest and see if that's exactly how much they gave us. It's almost exactly 32 fluid ounces. It's not close to 38 ounces. Yeah, it says 38 in the bottom here. Hey, someone who works at Burger King or someone who works in fast food, why do they say, here's how big the cup is, and then clearly it's not that amount? What am I missing here? Every single place does it.
Here in Italy, we have 3 sizes of fries: small, medium, and large.
Burger King in the US, they got 4 fries sizes. Over here's the value, then the small, the medium, and the large.
So I know that in Food Wars history, Burger King has actually lied to us. So let's see if they've been honest with me today in Italy and measure every single one of them. The sizes are working. Now, the small is actually smaller than the medium.
I have no proof of this. I think they saw our US versus UK Burger King episode, saw them call out hashtag Frygate 2021 whenever we did that.
Frygate 2020.
And they're running scared, but they still trying to pull it over. A US Whopper. The Whopper's a fantastic sandwich.
On to the nuggets. In Italy, they come in 3 sizes: a 6-piece, 9-piece, and 20-piece.
In the US, our nuggets come in 3 sizes. 2 if you go into the restaurant, apparently. You can get the 4-piece or the 8-piece. But also on Uber Eats, an exclusive apparently, you can get a 16-piece.
Both Italy and the US serve onion rings. In Italy, they come in 8-piece, 12-piece, and 16-piece.
So we have 4 onion ring sizes, and I want to point out that for us, we just do it by cup size. We're not doing it by number of onion rings like they do in Italy. I have to say, They were very generous with the onion rings at ours. I mean, this is the value. This thing is overflowing with onion rings. Small, medium, and large.
Here's everything that you can find at Burger King in Italy that you won't find in the US.
And here's everything you can find at the menu at a US Burger King you can't get in Italy.
Let's start with the burgers. In Italy, we have the Italian King collection, which comprises these two burgers here. The first one is the Parma ham and scamorza burger. Scamorza is a cheese from South Italy, where I'm from. So scamorza, it's a bit like a mozzarella in a way, like they come from the same family of cheeses. They're made in a similar way, but scamorza, it's like aged for like a week, like not so much. So it's like a hard mozzarella. Let's see how it tastes in a burger. Nice. Not a fan of the onions. I think they overpower a little bit the taste of the cheese. Without maybe the patty, it does seem like a traditional Italian sandwich. And then we have the Parmesan burger. This one has bacon in it. Apparently when Burger King launched this burger, they had to buy something like 500 wheels of Parmigiano Reggiano, which is like Parmesan. In Italy, they are the same thing. So quite a lot of wheels. I don't know, it feels like a dream to be in one of those rooms with like 500 wheels of Parmesan. It feels like, I don't know, next time you do it, please call me, Burger King. I'm coming to collect the cheese. Better this one than the other one. This one is a little bit less messy. The flavors come out individually. I can taste everything. Yeah, I like this one. Always on the Parmesan team. And then we got the Big King. This is supposed to be Burger King's version of the Big Mac. This one, it's slightly different to the US because it has an extra bun in the middle, and apparently it has a special sauce that's supposed to taste like Thousand Island sauce. Very yellowy. I never had Thousand Island sauce. I don't think I've ever seen it even in a supermarket. This is a bit vinegary, like a bit like tartar sauce in a way, but I don't know. I'm not a fan, but I don't know. Maybe there's just like the aftertaste of pickles. That's also something I don't like. I know Joe doesn't like them, so yeah, there's two of us.
Yes, Claudia dislikes pickles too. I'm so happy to hear that. Claudia has impeccable taste, so for her to dislike pickles must mean that I also have impeccable taste. So me and Claudia, no pickle friends.
And then we've got the Bacon Burger King 3.0. It's got 3 of everything. It's got 3 patties, 3 cheeses, and actually 8 strips of bacon. It's so heavy. I mean, I'm gonna take this to the gym to use as like a proper weight. It just looks gross. It looks like, I don't know, like cement. I don't know how this is an exclusive to Italy. I feel like if I want to indulge, I'll just have 2 of something else that's a little bit less messy. There are 8 strips of bacon though, and apparently they are different in Italy than in the US, so let's have a look. And then we've got the Bronx Steakhouse. If you are from the Bronx, does this look familiar to you? And then we have the Veggie Steakhouse. Same thing, just with a veggie patty. What is this? It's like veggie bacon. It's the first time I see it. Why is it brown? It looks like a candy. Tastes like salt and like frying oil. Not so much like bacon. Yeah, it does give you the feeling of like just having a regular burger. This is not technically vegetarian because it's cooked on the same grill as the meat patty. I guess this is a burger for people that eat meat that want to try a veggie option.
The Veggie Steakhouse? That might be a translation error. I don't know if it could be a veggie and a steakhouse.
Then we've got the Big King XXL, so bigger size than this one. This one has got 2 patties, 4 cheeses, and a special sauce. Bigger onions as well. Then we have the plant-based Whopper. And then we've got the Crazy Cheese Whopper. This one is a delivery exclusive, apparently for the cheese lovers. To be honest, as a cheese lover, what is this amount of cheese? It's ridiculous. There was more in any other burger. It's just for the lovers of like weirdly hanging strips of bacon, maybe.
All right, US burger exclusive options starting right here. at the bacon cheeseburger. Look how small this is, by the way. But as you can see, burger, got bacon and cheese, believe it. Moving on to the Impossible Whopper. I think that's this one with the lettuce. Yep, Impossible is a brand of plant-based meat here in the United States that is just that, made from plants. No animals were harmed in the making of this burger, I think. Something that should be noted, there is a disclaimer on the Burger King website that says our Impossible meat is cooked in the same broiler as the regular meat, and also the mayo on these burgers does have eggs in it, so good effort. Texas Double Whopper, come on, Texas. Texas is a state in the United States that does everything bigger, so of course they have their own Whopper. It's a Double Whopper, double the size of a regular Whopper. Look at this, it's got double the meat, see that? And jalapenos on here, although they're kind of non-existent, but they're on there. In the US, we have the single quarter-pound king. You saw that earlier. I absolutely destroyed it. I threw it away. But also, we have a single Impossible King. Same thing as the Impossible Whopper. Why am I talking like this? Look at that. I mean, you could put this melted cheese on a piece of shoe leather, and I wouldn't know the difference. We also have a Bacon Whopper Jr., which they didn't give us. Also, a Big King, which they did not give us. I'm certain I ordered it. Anyway, we do have is this, the Rodeo Burger. A pow is a burger with barbecue sauce and onion rings. Man, really generous with the onion rings. Fun fact about the Rodeo Cheeseburger, it was created to coincide with the release of the film Small Soldiers in 1998. Another fun fact, in 1998, I worked at a movie theater in Schaumburg, Illinois that showed Small Soldiers. This was, for some reason, brought out in time with that movie. It was in the dollar menu, stayed on the menu. I guess you can see why. Fun little burger. And the Small Soldiers Chip Hazard, which is the name of the character, I didn't even know his name was, advertised it by saying, you can't handle the rodeo burger. Which is just like Jack Nicholson's line from A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth.
Here are all the chicken items that you can get at Burger King in Italy. Starting from the crunch chicken, fried chicken, mayo, lettuce, and tomato. You can also get a chicken bacon king, same thing as the beef one with eight strips of bacon. Next up we have the chicken royale with bacon cheese. Why is this shape? Does this look royal to you? Maybe it's just easier to eat? I don't know, but I'm now very intrigued. A lot of mayo here. And then we got the crazy cheese chicken BBQ. Yeah, there's definitely barbecue sauce here. And then we got a plant-based nugget burger, which has mayo that is not vegan because obviously there's eggs in there, but there are 3 nuggets in there. Just quite funny, like a nugget burger.
Here are most of the chicken options you can get at the US Burger King. Starting down here, we get the BK Royal Crispy Chicken. Every time we do a Food Wars, Burger King's got a bunch of new chicken sandwiches because they're trying to compete with Chick-fil-A, and if you ask me, they losing. All right, this looks epitome of just okay. We also have a spicy version of the same sandwich, the Spicy BK Royal Crispy Sandwich. This one looks crispier. Much better. Not very spicy, good flavor to it. Get that one. We also have a bacon and Swiss one, which I think is this one. All right, I'm gonna get a bite of the bacon and the Swiss. Tastes bacony, typical to Burger King. Something's popular, so they make a somewhat inferior version. You can also get the honey mustard BK Royal Crisp Chicken blah bitty blah. This one also has bacon on it. The honey mustard's interesting. We also have a chicken junior. It's a little guy. This is basically the ripoff of the McChicken, a far more superior chicken sandwich. Another menu item that was available over the summer, but may be off the menu now, certainly wasn't the BK we went to here in Burbank, was the Italian BK Royal Crispy Chicken. Let's get that picture up on the screen. This would have been perfect for Food Wars, US versus Italy. Couldn't get my hands on it. Claudia, what do you think of this?
I don't know, that doesn't look very Italian to me. I think if you put crispy chicken, that automatically makes it all Italian. Let's talk about wraps. We thought there were 2. Actually, the grilled chicken is not there anymore, so we just got this crispy one. These wraps look very sad. I don't know, I feel like you could do better with the actual wrap itself. Here's what's inside. I don't know, the wrap is very pale.
BK also has wraps. You can get pretty much each one of these chicken sandwiches in wrap form. I went ahead and got the spicy BK Royal Crispy wrap. I mean, all they're doing is taking, oh, so it's half a patty. I got a full patty, so you get half a patty, and all stuff in wrap form. Like, what's the draw of this? If you want a wrap, just go someplace else. A couple other exclusive items that we got here. You get a taco at Burger King. Yeah, I love tacos just as much as the next guy, but I mean, look how thin this is. Look like the guy sat on it before he gave it to us. I'm curious. I can't be sure, but I think they put the barbecue sauce in there. That can't be right. If they did, that's terrible. Whatever it is, it's bad. Don't get it. This right here is the big fish. Look at this thing. What a nightmare. They put pickles on it, guys. Come on. Pickles on a fish sandwich. I really like the Filet-O-Fish. I should say that right now. I think it's a tasty sandwich. I don't know what they're putting in the Filet-O-Fish at McDonald's. Probably not a lot of fish, but I think it's very good. My favorite thing about the Filet-O-Fish is their tartar sauce. It makes and breaks the sandwich. For them, tartar sauce, fantastic. So one would assume that this square fish patty, correct me if I'm wrong, but no fish is naturally square. So this highly processed fish patty is drowning in a white sauce that should be a tartar sauce. And we're gonna find out if it's any good. It's a thicker bun. It feels like getting more sandwich. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. I don't think it's better tasting than the Filet-O-Fish, but still pretty good.
Let's see what is in Italy's King Junior meal. As a main course, you can either get a 4-piece nugget, a chicken burger, a hamburger, a cheeseburger, or a toast, which is what we got today. And then you also get fries, a mini Kit Kat, a drink, and a toy. Let's see what's inside ours. Here's our toast. Tiny fries. Cute. Kit Kat. The drink, obviously, and a toy. What is this? It's like a glass. It doesn't really look like something you would give to your child if you were making their lunch. It is the plainest thing that you can get, and usually parents are a little bit wary of like giving sauces and like things that are too rich.
Kids meal options in the US, AKA the King Junior. You can get either a cheeseburger or a 4-piece nugget. I think we got the nuggets. And then your options are either fries, onion rings, or applesauce. They have a drink cup that is reusable. I think it's pretty nice. And you can also get milk, so it says Junior right there. And for a toy, spoon. No, the toy, they got nothing. I don't know if they forgot to give us a toy, or maybe they don't have toys. I mean, what? Oh, you think because I ordered it as an adult, they're like, he doesn't want a toy? What, all work and no play for the J-Man? Come on, I want a toy. I think maybe, though, you think the puzzle's the toy in the bag? I don't know. So I don't think the spoon's the toy. So either forgot the toy or you don't get one. We didn't get one. Exclusive sides we have, these are 2 of them. One thing I want to point everyone's attention to are these chicken fries. That's right, chicken strips shaped like fries. Interesting fact about this box, you'll kind of like get smaller here. This box was designed specifically to fit in a car cup holder. Because here in America, God forbid we stop and eat a meal, we have to eat and do something else. I think it's very funny because in Italy, it's like the meal is the event. And the chicken fry, it's more of like a marketing thing to call this a fry because it's not a chicken tender because tenders come from a specific part of the chicken. The fry is more like a chicken finger where it's made with whole muscle meat. They're really durable, they're really elastic. Don't you think if you're waving a piece of chicken like this, it would have broken off by now? Look at this. Look at this. Why is this so like this? I think they taste fine. It's just a weird thing to be like on the menu still. I don't know anyone who's getting these. Mozzarella sticks. We should have asked Claudia before. Do mozzarella sticks even exist in Italy? I want to know. Because here in the US, you can get these as a 4-piece or an 8-piece with marinara sauce. These have been sitting for a while, but of course I'm wondering what kind of cheese pull we can get from these mozzarella sticks. Oh. Okay. Oh, not a bad one. That was just okay.
These are our exclusive sides here in Italy, starting from these chili cheese bites. You can get them in a 6-piece and a 9-piece. Doesn't look like there's chili in them. Let's try them out. They taste a bit too peppery, I think. I was expecting it just to taste spicy. Like they taste like fresh chilies, which is nice. But I'm not sure which cheese is this. Then we've got plant-based nuggets as a 6-piece. They look a bit green, like there's some filter on them. They taste actually like nuggets. I don't know if this is like fake chicken or it's just like vegetables, but they're quite good. And from the inside, they look like normal ones. You can then get bacon king fries with cheddar sauce. You can also get them without cheddar sauce, but here's the ones we've got. You can also get chicken wings in a 4-piece and an 8-piece. Here's how they look like. Just very tiny wings. When I was little, we used to go and like vacation in this town in like the south of Italy, like a very small village, and the whole village on the 15th of August was celebrating with something that we call the alata. Ala means wing in Italian, and it was just like a big chicken wings party. The ones I'm used to, they were a little bit bigger and a bit more like light colored. Let's see how this ones taste like. Ooh, spicy. It's like a bit, yeah, like a bit of a spicy sauce. Yeah, there's a lot of pepper in there. Nah, not a fan. Then you can get 2 types of toast. The king toast with a Swiss cheese and ham. This is the same as in the kids menu. And then you can get it with bacon and American cheese. And then we've got griller fries, or maybe you call this waffle fries. But we actually have some packaged chips in Italy. They are sold with this shape. Perhaps that's why they went with the fries. There is a tiny bit of spice in the aftertaste. Quite nice.
They're doing waffle fries in Italy. That's a direct ripoff of the Chick-fil-A fries. Like, this company is shameless. If it's popular somewhere else, Burger King has it. That's their new slogan.
And then we also have salads here in Italy. Technically, there are 4 options, but we were only able to get 2. So the 4 options are just a mixed salad, crispy chicken, grilled chicken, and a tuna salad, which doesn't seem like something I would like to get at Burger King. Here we have a mixed salad. One thing why are you serving the salad with the whole tomato? Who eats this? Like, why? And we have another one here, which was supposed to be the grilled chicken, I think, but it's another one of those mixed salads with those huge tomatoes. The salads can also come with some olive oil. It was actually given to us in a little sachet, but we can't find it.
Sauce talk.
Discorso delle salse.
Sauce talk.
Here are all the sauces that are exclusive to Italy. Well, technically exclusive because they're all from Heinz. So you won't find this in the US. Heinz makes all the sauces here in Italy. We start from ketchup, then mayo, barbecue, sweet and sour sauce, curry mango sauce. Then we've got spicy tomato salsa, which sounds interesting. And then we've got cream honey mustard. The last one, which is not made by Heinz, is nocciolata. This is technically not a sauce. It's like a hazelnuts and chocolate spread, a bit like Nutella. Yeah, this one, Rigoni di Asiago, is like, some people will say the posh Nutella. It's a very nice and rich spread. Let's see, mango and curry. The color I was expecting. Nice. I'm surprised it's on the menu. Yeah, it does taste like curry-inspired sauce and like sweet, so maybe there is mango.
I love the looks of the mango curry. I definitely want one of those. Can you please send it to me? Thank you. Here are pretty much all the sauces you can get in the US since they're not Heinz products, at least not labeled. Do you think Burger King makes their own sauces, or do you think they're just going to the source and putting their own labels on it? I have no idea. Here we got a barbecue sauce. I would love to try, when I go to Europe, like that's happening anytime soon, when I go to Europe, I want to try their barbecue sauces. I feel like what they think is barbecue and what we call barbecue can't be the same. There's a sweet barbecue sauce. I'd like in like a Kansas City barbecue. Very good. This is the zesty sauce. This tastes like a strong mustard. Not honey mustard, but sweeter than a regular mustard. Actually, it's closer like a Dijon. It just says spices, doesn't say which ones. No. It's not bad, just I don't want that. Sweet and sour sauce. Come on. Open like a normal, imagine if I was driving. trying to eat my chicken. I'd be on the opposite side of the road by now. Crashing into everyone. I'd be driving on the sidewalk trying to open the sauce. All right, sweet and sour, come on. Buffalo sauce, for those of you not in America. Buffalo sauce is named after buffalo hot wings. It's a type of spicy sauce. You get wings, and now it's on everything. And no, it does not taste like buffaloes. It's from Buffalo, New York, where the sauce was, the recipe was made or perfected, I don't know. So basically, hot wing sauce. I like buffalo sauce. I don't think, it's only good on chicken. And burgers or fries or dipping, doesn't work. Last, we got ranch. This country is obsessed with ranch. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but we got it everywhere in America, including Burger King, so. Ranchy. And this is Heinz ketchup. Wait, we have Heinz ketchup and they have Heinz ketchup, so this is an exclusive. But these sauces are. Biscuits. Here in the US, we have a specific type of biscuit that is not a cookie or a scone. It's its own thing. Anyway, we can get just about every breakfast sandwich at Burger King in biscuit form. There's the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, smoky maple chicken biscuit, the ham, egg, and cheese biscuit, the egg and cheese biscuit, and the fully loaded biscuit. I'm not getting all of them. It's a waste. Here's two. I got the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Personally, I think when it comes to breakfast sandwich, bacon, egg, and cheese is the gold standard. You can maybe do it a different way, but I think bacon, egg, and cheese is pretty much the best breakfast sandwich to get. Here it is. There's your egg, there's your bacon and cheese. There's the biscuit. It's very dry. I don't feel like trying it. And then also the fully loaded one. This is hilarious. Want to get this? This has got a little bit of everything. Got the egg, got the sausage, got the ham, got the cheese, and the bacon. How does this look, Italy? Huh? Breakfast is served. Let's go. Not only do we have that in biscuit form, we have the same exact type of sandwiches in croissant form. Once again, Italy, your neighbors to the north, France, they invented the croissant. I'm sure all through Europe you have amazing pastries, including croissants. Here in the US, we've absolutely ruined them by cutting them in half and sticking meat and cheese in the middle. So here we go. We got the bacon, egg, and cheese. Again, the gold standard. You can also get a ham, egg, and cheese, smoky maple chicken croissant, which sounds horrible. Double sausage, egg, and cheese. I forgot about that. That's 2 patties of sausage, 2 slices of cheese, double the diarrhea in the morning, and of course, the fully loaded croissant-wich. Our cricket buddy is back. We will try to remove the cricket audio in post, but sorry everyone, we're filming this in the middle of the woods apparently. We have sausage, egg, ham, bacon, cheese. Oh God. Cricket, do you want a bite of this? We also have breakfast burritos. This here is the egg-normous burrito, which has bacon, egg, cheese, a hash brown, and a spicy sauce. This is for someone who just wants your first hour once you punch into work to be on the toilet. So if you're looking to poop on company time, maybe grab one of these on the way to work. Look at this. Guys, this is like, I don't even know what this is like. I've never seen anything like this. So of course I have to try it. Nope. Gross. And this next one is a breakfast burrito junior. So this one's for kids. You want to get them started young. Look what they did. They put a hash brown at the beginning and the end. So you're going to be like, oh, it must be loaded with hash browns. One at the entrance and the exit. Nice try. Also, in the US, we're crazy about pancakes, and we have the pancake platter and the pancake and sausage platter currently unavailable at the Burbank Burger King.
In Italy, we actually don't have a breakfast menu at Burger King. To be honest, I don't think Italians would like to have what Joe has in his menu, like a croissant filled with bacon and eggs. Doesn't seem quite right. I think most of us just have a sweet breakfast that usually is just a pastry and a coffee. It can be a very calorific pastry with like a lot of Nutella or another filling, but usually it's always sweet.
Sounds like Claudia is implying that Italians like something a little more sweet, a baked good for breakfast. So we do have some of those in the US, and we do have some of those obviously at Burger King. Going on down here, starting off, we got French toast sticks. France, as you are aware, is a country that's right above Italy, and they have their own toast. And we have that in stick form. And this is them. And it also comes with the dipping syrup. What's more French than that? Look at this. Look at this. I know it's Food Wars Italy, but Food Wars France has got to be right around the corner. Any French person watching this right now is going to have a heart attack. But, yeah, you know, I mean, you have no idea how sweet this is. Also, we have these hash brown bites. These little guys. Desserts, sweets. Oh, how we have it in the US at our Burger King. You can get a Hershey's Sundae pie, not Sunday day of the week, Sunday as in like a ice cream sundae, right? And I mean, look at this, right? Look at this, how gooey that is. Ooh, come on. Also, at Burger King, you can get soft serve ice cream. I didn't get it because we've been in the studio for a couple hours and it's very hot and it would have melted. Anyway, you can also get chocolate chip cookies. Hey! And a variety of shakes. A vanilla shake, a chocolate Oreo shake, and this, the Oreo shake. Every time we do a fast food place that has a shake, the Oreo shake, I get it. I think that Oreo, as far as branded cookies, snack, shakes, you get a lot of these fast food places, the Oreo is the best one. Why, do you ask? Looks like a vanilla and chocolate shake, right? Wrong. It isn't vanilla. It's the Oreo cream flavored shake with Oreo chocolate cookies in it. Just, I'm telling you. Oh my God, so good. Oreo is the best shake, hands down. Mmm.
So on to the dessert options here in Italy. These are the ones that we were able to get, but actually there are a bunch of others and we're gonna put them all on screen here. That includes a lot of ice cream, like sundaes and milkshakes, but we were not able to get them. So this is what we've got today. We've got nocciolata pancakes, and then we've got nutty cheesecake, crown caramel souffle. I think if you call something lava cake, you will expect. I mean, I'm sure like half of your customers will think that you actually put lava in there. Yeah, and I was saying earlier, nocciolata is actually a very popular spread here in Italy. It's like a hazelnut and chocolate spread. I was expecting it to be much thicker. Let's see. Quite nice. Yeah, the pancakes are okay. It's really delicious. It tastes much more like hazelnuts than Nutella does. Like these two are like competitors. Approved. We can also get some milkshakes. The exclusive ones are Nesquik, Nescafe, and Oreo.
Drinks to the US Burger King. We have a lot. Fountain drinks, for instance. It's a fountain drink cup. I wasn't gonna get all these because it's just super hot. It's a pain in the butt to get the stuff here. All the other drinks have melted. Told you I'm wearing the shirt. It's hot in here. We have something called frozen drinks. You get a frozen Coke and a frozen wild cherry and also frozen blue raspberry, which is not available. This was more of a slush consistency for melted in this 80-degree studio. What? Oh, we also got milk. Okay. Anyway, I mean, not bad. I mean, it's still pretty cold, but yeah, usually this is a lot more like icy. There's a wild cherry. Oh yeah. We'd have coffee drinks. You can get an iced coffee. This used to have ice in it, and a hot coffee. And of course, who doesn't like to relax with a room temperature fat-free milk? That'll wash down your burger.
Here are all the drinks that are exclusive to Italy Burger King. Starting from this very cute Pago orange juice. Then we got some tea. We've got peach and rose, fancy, and lemongrass. We've got Monster Energy, which has been delivered in a bit of a funny shape. And then we've got beer. You can either get Heineken or Ichnusa, which is a Sardinian beer. Some Burger Kings will also serve a full range of coffees, espresso coffees, because that's what coffee means to us. But because we got our food and drinks delivered, we actually were not able to select coffee, so we couldn't get any today.
Burger King, in my point of view, is like fast food's little brother. It's always like trying to be like the big dogs. It's always trying to be like McDonald's. It's always like whatever is good, Burger King has like kind of a later, crummier version of it. Now I will say the Whopper is a fantastic sandwich. I love the Whopper. I get it occasionally. But everything else on Burger King's menu, thumbs down. Or at least there's something else that's better than whatever they're offering. You know, Burger King, I only eat there when it's the ultimate convenience, which is rare because I don't know if a lot of people outside of the US knew this, but Burger King's strategy is to build a location close to a McDonald's. Did you know that? So McDonald's does all this research about where to position their restaurant strategically, you know, traffic patterns, rent and locations, all that stuff. McDonald's has a whole department of people to figure that out. And then Burger King's like, all right, we'll build one across the street from that McDonald's. That's for real. Like, that's their vibe on everything. So I don't know what's like in other countries, but in Burger King, you're just like, oh, Burger King.
In Italy, I think Burger King goes pretty much hand in hand with McDonald's. Obviously, it's been there for a little bit less time. Burger King is quite popular in Italy. They currently have 232 outlets. KFC has only got 50 branches here in Italy, although they are still behind McDonald's that has 630 branches. Like most of us have celebrated birthdays at McDonald's, so obviously we do have some memories and like something that brings us back to it. I think it's also a little bit more expensive compared to McDonald's, and maybe that's one of the reasons why people would choose one instead of the other. Even though there are some Italian ingredients in the menu, Burger King is still pretty much considered the American option or like the American fast food chain, whereas McDonald's has sort of got rid of the American fast food chain, is just the fast food chain, if that makes sense. They are the first chain that has removed preservatives and colorants from food, but there are quite a few items that we've seen today that look very shiny and like very colorful. And I would really like to know, how do you make your cheese so yellow without colorants? Like, why? Like, how is that even possible naturally?
Rivals, I don't know. Would you consider McDonald's rival? That's like me saying The Rock's my rival. Like, yeah, rivals, but like, come on. I don't think he's sweating that I'm out there doing videos as well. There's no one's, I mean, Wendy's, I guess?
Let's talk about prices. In Italy, a Whopper is €6.50, which is about $7.27. If you want to make that a meal with a medium-sized drink and medium fries, that's gonna cost you €11, and that's about $12.30.
And in the US, a Whopper will cost you $6.89, or €6 and 16 Euro bites. I don't know what? Is it cents? All right, everyone, relax, it's cents. There you go, all right. So €6 and 16 cents. Now that's a 6% decrease in price. How do you like that? If you're making a meal with a medium fries and medium drink, it will cost you $12.18, or €10.95. So
it actually works out cheaper to get a Whopper meal in the US rather than in Italy, but just by a few cents.
$12? I guess I'm used to it, but you come to think of it, it's a lot more expensive than what I initially thought. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's that good of a deal. It's not like too expensive, but I think like almost $13 or whatever, 12 something plus tax for all this is like, ugh, might as well get something better.
The prices seem fair. It is a little bit more expensive than McDonald's, but also the burgers are a little bit bigger, and it's definitely almost half the price as like a Five Guys. I think €11 is fair, but if you start getting close to like 15, that's where I think I would like to sit down at a restaurant, and that's probably the price of like a main course at like a restaurant here in Milan. So €11 was just below like the restaurant line, let's say. As the Whopper is Burger King's #1 best-selling item, we thought we will compare them nutritionally. In Italy, a Whopper contains 683 calories.
Our US Whopper contains all this.
If you make that a meal by adding medium fries and a medium Coke, the total is this.
Making the grand total this.
The most calorific item on the menu here is the Bacon King 3.0 at 1,342 calories. That is a lot for a burger.
Our Bacon King is also the most calorific single item on the menu at 1,200 calories. Oof!
From calorie count to portion sizes, we wanted to find out all the differences between Five Guys in Italy and the US. This is Food Wars. Burgers in Italy come in two sizes, little and regular. Little has one patty and regular has two.
Our burgers also come in two sizes, little and regular. Let's weigh a regular plain hamburger in both countries to see who has the bigger burgers.
That's 136 grams.
138 grams. The burger mark is really off-putting. Any difference might be down to the patties. Five Guys actually tells us that the US patties should weigh about 94 grams each, or 3.3 ounces, although this will be the weight before cooking.
The Five Guys Italy website says that the patties, when uncooked, should weigh 67 grams. So we're gonna see if that's true. Obviously, these have been cooked, so the meat should have released some fat, but we're gonna find out soon.
This is a Five Guys hot dog. It looks a little weird because they slice them down the middle to cook them. I really love how these cook when they're sliced. Let's measure the length first. That's about 16.2 centimeters.
I think that's about 15 centimeters. Yeah, 6 inches. We don't use inches in Italy.
Now let's weigh the plain hot dog. That is 144 grams.
We're now gonna weigh it. So just for reference, we put mustard, ketchup, and onions in this hot dog. So obviously it's gonna be a bit heavier than a regular one. Let's see. 195 grams.
Our fries come in three sizes in either plain or Cajun spice. You can get little, regular, or large.
Our Five Guys fries come in three sizes, either plain or with Cajun spice, little, regular, and large.
According to Five Guys, the little should weigh 227 grams. Let's see if that's true. It's not. It's 82 grams. This is 82, oh wait. Yeah, it's 82 grams.
Our little fries should weigh 256 grams, 103 grams.
So we did ask a Five Guys employee about how they package their fries. They scoop the fries into one of these cups, put that in the bag, and then they do another scoop of fries on top, I think. So that could be the reason why some of these weights are off. There's just like fries everywhere. Don't really know which fry came from which cup. It's a mess. We're supposed to have 1,225 grams altogether, but right now we're sitting at 870 grams, including the extra fries, which aren't really extra.
So our total should have been 1,220 grams, but we got 580 grams. So that's less than half. Milkshakes in Italy come in one size, and this is supposed to be 400 milliliters.
So this is the vanilla milkshake. In the US, I believe we only have one size of milkshake, so let's see how much we get.
It's actually almost 500. I'll say it's like 480 milliliters, something around that.
Here's everything you'll find at Five Guys in the US that you won't find in Italy.
Here's everything you find at Five Guys Italy that you won't find in the US.
The owners of Five Guys like to keep the restaurants and the menus all the same, so there aren't any exclusive burger options in the US. This is the Five Guys burger menu.
So our burger menus are almost exactly the same. The only difference is that here you can order 2 additional patties, not just one. So you end up with a burger with 4 patties in it. I'm not sure you can do that in the US, maybe if you ask nicely, but it's an official feature here. Since
Five Guys is known for its customizable options, you probably could order 2 extra patties for your burger, but we'll let you have this one, Claudia. But seeing as America doesn't have official exclusive menu items, Five Guys enthusiasts had to get creative and make their own in the form of an unofficial secret menu. So this is the patty melt. It's a grilled cheese sandwich with an extra patty inside. It looks kind of good to me. I love when restaurants do grilled cheeses with the buns of the burgers. I think it tastes so good. I feel like I like this better than the Five Guys burgers. It's something about the way the bread gets all toasty. It just makes it so much more delicious. So next is the artery annihilator. That's a little ridiculous. So we have to put a bacon hot dog inside of a bacon cheeseburger. How I'm gonna do that, I don't know. What I think is right is making it edible in some form. So I'm just gonna like break it up a little. I'm trying to squish it down because it's not gonna fit into my mouth. Okay. This literally sucks. Like, don't order this. There's no reason for you. If you want a hot dog and a burger, let me swallow this stupid bite of food. Hold on. I feel like putting the hot dog into the burger doesn't make it taste any better. It just makes it a lot harder to eat and a lot less enjoyable of an experience. So I think this is really not fun or good.
To me, I think this should be at the top, so let's try. Double bread. Yeah, there's a bit of sauce. Right. So here's your Italian version. Artery annihilator. Right, I don't know. I feel like this is annihilating my eyesight as well, on top of my arteries, if I were to try it. Too much stuff.
Five Guys is of course famous for its wide selection of free toppings. According to Five Guys, there are over 250,000 ways to customize your burger. Now these aren't exclusive toppings, but here's what you can get. The only exclusive topping we have in America is A1 sauce.
In Italy, the toppings are almost exactly the same as in the US, but we do have one exclusive sauce, which is the HP sauce.
According to chefs at Five Guys, when customizing your burger, there's a specific way it has to be stacked within their rules. It should be the bottom bun, then any wet items like grilled onions or mushrooms, then the first patty, 2 slices of cheese, then another patty, then dry items like lettuce, tomatoes, and jalapenos go on top, and then there's the top bun to finish it all off. Let's see if it came in the order that it's supposed to come in. So at the bottom, I see the grilled onions, I see grilled mushrooms, and I also see peppers, green peppers. So it's already out of order because the jalapenos are on the bottom for some reason. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this, if it doesn't affect the taste, I personally do not care, but if it's their law in the Five Guys, then I guess you should be doing it, I don't know. All right, so we got the first patty, the 2 slices of cheese, another patty, and then on top we have the lettuce and tomatoes.
Let's check if the order is the same here in Italy. So yes, we got bottom bun, onions and mushrooms. We got a patty, cheese. We got another patty, tomatoes and lettuce at the top. Good job, Five Guys.
Five Guys also offers sandwich options. There aren't any exclusive sandwiches in the US, but here's what you can get. So we have a grilled cheese, a BLT, and a veggie sandwich. Veggie sandwich. It's not bad. It's just a little too vegetable heavy for me. No. Next is the BLT, which if you mess this up, yeah, it tastes like an okay BLT. It just mostly tastes like bacon. And then we have the grilled cheese, which I think will be good because I already liked the patty melt and they're like sisters. That's a really good grilled cheese.
We do have one exclusive in Italy, which is a BLT sandwich with cheese, which is supposed to be this one, but there's been a bit of a mix-up in the order, and the one we got has just cheese and a lot of bacon.
There aren't any exclusive Five Guys hot dog options in either country, but here's what you can get. A hot dog, a bacon dog, a cheese dog, or a bacon cheese dog. I've never had a hot dog with cheese on it, so I am kind of intrigued. I will say though, I am a fan of the slicing the hot dog and putting like this side on the griddles just so everything gets nice and crispy. I think they do taste better that way. It's not for me. Something about the cheese and the hot dog mixing together feels wrong because I've never had it. It feels weird.
So this is the bacon and cheese hot dog. Looks pretty good to me, but I'm not really familiar with hot dogs. I think in general in Italy we don't really have that many. Like definitely burgers are more popular. Yeah, maybe with some sauce it'll be a bit better.
In the US, we have 2 exclusive milkshake options, the Oreo creme and the double stuff, which I am very excited about. I love Oreos and Oreo milkshakes are objectively the best milkshake. Let's try the Oreo creme first. So this is just like the filling of the Oreos, essentially. Okay, give it a good swirl. And it is creme and not cream. That is literally so good. You're actually drinking the creme inside of an Oreo. Next is double stuff, so I assume this has the creme and also a bunch of Oreo pieces in it. Oh my God, this is the best one. At Five Guys, you can actually add bacon to any of their milkshake flavors. This is a vanilla bacon. I just feel like vanilla seemed like the easiest thing to pair with the bacon. I've never tried this before, but let's see. It tastes like vanilla and bacon. I'm just trying to decide mentally if that's like something I should have eaten.
We thought we had one exclusives in the milkshake department in Italy. On their website, it still states that there is a coffee milkshake that you can order. We did order it, but then when we got to the store to collect it, turns out it's been discontinued and it's been years they haven't done it. So please update your website, Five Guys. We still got a bacon milkshake, and then weirdly on the website also it lets you add every single flavor. So we got a milkshake with absolutely everything that was available. What's in here? There is Oreos, banana, strawberry. There's like so many different things that just, in my mind, they don't really work together. I think there's just too many things to even make out what stuff is. To be honest, it's not too bad. Now we've got the bacon milkshake. Mixing bacon with milk, it does sound a bit ridiculous. Like, it might be disappointing though, because I don't really taste the bacon much.
We also have some drink options you can only get in the US: Simply Lemonade, root beer, and Dr. Pepper. Do Italians like root beer? That's what I would love to know. You know what that is. I'm sure they do. If you're Italian from Italy, comment down below and tell me if you know what root beer is, 1, and 2, do you actually think it's good? Because here, people love it.
And here are all the drinks that you can only find in Italy. We've got Fanta Orange, sparkling water, and then 4 beers. So let's talk about prices now. In Italy, at Five Guys, a cheeseburger will cost you 13 euros and 45 cents. Translated to dollars, that is $14.82. So for comparison, at McDonald's, you can get a cheeseburger for 2 euros. So yeah, for the same price, 13 point something euros, you could get 6 of these at the other chain. That's maybe too cheap, but 13 euros for a burger in tin foil, just sort of all squished together, still at a fast food chain, that's way over what I would pay.
In the US, a cheeseburger will cost you $11.79 or 10 euros and 70 cents. That is a 26% decrease in price. So Five Guys is doing this thing where all of their food is fresh and made to order. They're trying to kind of raise the standard of what fast food could be. I think that's why their prices are on the higher end, although I don't know if that's fully justified, because I can say that I've had better, cheaper burgers. I think that's allowed.
And to make that a meal, so with regular fries and a drink, that will cost you 23 euros and 20 cents, which in dollars is $25.57. Again, so overpriced, like 23 euros for all this. And I still don't even have a plate. It's just a lot.
To make it a meal with regular fries and a regular drink, it will cost you $21.47 or 19 euros and 48 cents. It's just not making sense to me. $21 for a fast food burger, fries, and drink? No, absolutely not.
Let's take a look at some of the basic ingredients at Five Guys Italy. In Italy, the burger itself is 100% ground beef.
And in the US, a burger actually contains 80/20 USDA ground chuck.
If you want to add cheese to your burger though, here's everything that's in the cheese.
Five Guys cheese in the US contains all of these ingredients. Let's look at the bun. It contains water, salt, sugar, vegetable shortening, milk, eggs, bleached bread flour, yeast, and sesame seeds.
So in Italy, the bun has a total of 11 ingredients. That's 2 more than the US. The additional ingredients are calcium carbonate and spirit vinegar.
The only difference in the hot dogs is some of the ingredients to make the pink coloring. We love dyeing our food here. The ingredients for the fries are really simple. It's just potatoes, refined peanut oil, and salt. If you go to a Five Guys, they have this little board that tells you where your potatoes are coming from that day, and ours came from St. Anthony, Idaho.
And the fries at Five Guys are very simple. They are potatoes, peanut oil, and salt. It's the first thing that I see something cooked with peanut oil. Let's see, do they taste like peanuts at all? Or actually, they taste quite potato-y, like they taste quite nice. Yeah, maybe it's the peanut oil after all.
In the US, a cheeseburger that has a bun, 2 patties, 2 pieces of cheese, and no toppings comes out to about 984 calories. The total fat comes out to about 55 grams, carbs 39 grams, sugar 8 grams, and sodium 1,050 milligrams.
In Italy, a regular cheeseburger contains 756 calories, of which 45 grams are total fat, 40 grams are carbs, 8 grams are sugar, and 908 milligrams are sodium. And if you make that a meal, you can add fries, and they contain 1,122 calories, then 66 grams of fat, 120 grams of carbs, 1.7 grams of sugar, and 716 milligrams of sodium.
Our regular fries are 953 calories, 41 grams of fat, 131 grams of carbs, 4 grams of sugar, and 962 milligrams of sodium.
And a chocolate milkshake contains 874 calories, then 39 grams of fat, 121 grams of carbs, 108 grams of sugar, and 408 milligrams of sodium.
And a chocolate milkshake is 830 calories, 36 grams of fat, 116 grams of carbs, 107 grams of sugar, and 400 milligrams of sodium.
So the total for a meal that includes a cheeseburger, regular fries, and the milkshake is 2,752 calories, of which 150 grams are total fat, then 281 grams carbs, 118 grams of sugar, and 2,032 milligrams of sodium.
Bringing the total to 2,767 calories, 132 grams of total fat, 286 grams of carbs, 119 grams of sugar, and 2,412 milligrams of sodium.
Well, the numbers for the fries are actually based on what is stated on the website, and we got basically half of what is stated there. So if you want to make this a little bit more accurate, you should have the nutrition numbers as well. Five Guys first opened in Italy in 2018 in Milan, just behind the Duomo, so a very touristic location. And then in 2021, after a bit of a COVID break, it opened in Rome. And there are now another 4 locations in Milan. I think, well, starting with Milan is a very smart choice. Obviously, it's the most international city. There's a lot of tourists, like fashion capital of Italy, a lot of offices, a lot of foreigners as well here, which is maybe the reason why they open here.
I know Five Guys is available in a lot of places, but something about the branding and the way the food is presented feels very East Coast to me. I think it's because the fries remind me of boardwalk fries that you'd get down at the Jersey Shore. It's a little weird because some stuff has the Five Guys logo on it and you can tell where it's from. Other stuff like the fries and the burgers just come in regular foil, a regular unmarked cup, so it's like, it's not a lot of brand recognition, at least for me. I've never even seen a Five Guys advertisement. I've never seen a commercial, I've never gotten an ad. Once you take like this cup away, you probably wouldn't know where I got this food from. Because their burgers are made to order, it does take longer for you to get your order. I've waited like at least 10 minutes for my order at a Five Guys before. So it's not like the fastest fast food option, but the food is as fresh as it can be. It kind of gives me the feeling of food you'd get at a concession stand, at like a local baseball game, at a school or something. It's definitely got its own thing going on.
From calorie count to portion sizes, we wanted to find out all the differences between Pringles in Italy and the US. This is Food Wars. Here are all the exclusive flavors that you will find in Italy that you won't get in the US.
Here are all the US Pringles you're not going to find in Italy.
Starting from paprika. I've got to say paprika is something that's very popular in Spain. Yeah, it's quite nice actually. For those who may not know what paprika is, it's actually dried, crushed red pepper, very fruity and fresh in a way. I know you guys in the US have a barbecue flavor. We actually have Texas barbecue. I don't know, is there maybe any difference, or maybe this is just marketing to appeal to the Italians, because when you say Texas barbecue, it feels cooler and we already know what it is. I don't know, it's barbecue sauce again. Is barbecue sauce in Texas supposed to taste different?
The US actually has dozens of regional barbecue styles, including Texas, which has at least 4. So it depends on who you ask, and I don't know where barbecue started. Yeah, we also have just barbecue. And I described the flavor tangy. Good though. I love barbecue.
And then onto the exclusive train, we've got ketchup. I think it's a bit too strong. I prefer the other ones. The queen of them all, the pizza flavored. As I should be, I'm a little bit worried about those because as an Italian, I'm very vocal about what pizza is. I have pretty low expectations for these just because everything pizza flavored to me, it's like a bit of a gimmick. No, they just taste like oregano. So I don't know why you guys have this idea that like Italians love oregano so much. Like I have so many spices and like herbs in my kitchen, and guess what's missing? Oregano. Weirdly, and maybe I'm going to be cancelled for this, but the ketchup ones taste more like pizza because they taste more like tomatoes. Then we've got smoky bacon. They taste more like the oil we will cook the bacon in. Not a fan. You may also be able to find Emmental Pringles, but we were not able to track them down. So Emmental is a Swiss cheese made in the German part of Switzerland.
Oh, cheddar cheese, let's go. Bursting with flavor. Get that on screen. Good. Ooh, I've never had this one before. Hot honey? Nope. Cheddar and sour cream. Dude, these are always good. The chive. Salt and vinegar. Got ranch. Not the best ranch flavored chip out there, but not bad. I think Claudia should try these. Yo, Claudia, catch. Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. So I've actually never had ranch sauce or like dressing. I can already see people sort of walking away from me the moment I start talking to them because the onion, it's like very potent. No.
I'm seeing flames on both of these. I'm seeing a grill, so the assumption is these are spicy. Enchilada adobadas and the La Miras habaneros. Not a lot of heat to them, but pretty good. I don't know if that tastes like an enchilada, but these are good. They're not like Takis, but they're in like a Taki space. They're spicy. They have a flaming hot Cheeto kind of vibe to it. Minecraft suspicious stew. Limited time only, thank God. Look at the little gamer headset on there. Shameless Julius Pringles. Shameless going after the kids. I'm surprised for something that's clearly marketed as kids, this does not have a very strong flavor to it. Tastes like a weak sour cream and onion. Philly cheesesteak. Check out the best cheesesteak in Philadelphia food tours episode starring myself and Harry. And this is that sandwich in chip form. I can't imagine one human being wanting this. Avoid this. Oh, smells terrible. There's also a French fries and ketchup and everything bagel flavor we were not able to get for the shoot. Let's get. We also have a line of IN' Pringles. You can see the steam coming out of Julius's ears. This one, he's crying. He's crying the buffalo one. He's not crying on the other ones. Okay, something to look forward to. Start down here at the barbecue. Come on, get hot. Nope, not scorching. Let's try the cheddar. I mean, they even have the temperature thing in the logo, the thermometer going up. Not only are they not scorching, but also I'm not really getting any flavor. I mean, cheddar, sour cream and onion. I mean, I love sour cream and onion chips. They taste like sour cream and onion chips, but I mean, I'm getting a little like low-level spice. This one, as you can see, Julius Pringle is crying. Look at this, the chip, the pepper, and the bottle of hot sauce are all on fire. A little bit of heat. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. I guess look for the tears if you want spicy Pringles. Chili and lime. No.
Instead of scorching, in Italy, spicy Pringles are called flame, and you can find them as a spicy BBQ flavor and cheese and chili flavor. I think I'll be able to have a few without having to go and drink, but I think it's manageable. It's like a very manageable spice. Let's try the cheese and chili now. This one have 2 chilies on them, so they're supposed to be like the mild-ish ones, whereas these have 3. Ooh, you're like attacked by this cheese taste, like cheese flavoring, like fake cheese taste, like not nice.
Also in the US, you can get something called the Pringles Harvest Blend. 4 varieties to choose from. According to the ad copy, a deliciously complex tasting experience unlike one you've ever had. Barf. They're potato chips. Let's embark on this taste journey unlike any other. Hang on. The taste difference between these two are hardly noticeable, but they definitely look different. Homestyle Ranch, also multigrain. Amazon, this guy drop kicked this to my front door. This is ridiculous. These are different than the regular ranch, and I do like these. Flavor's not as strong, not as insane, which I like. Sweet potatoes, next to are sweet potato, and this is sea salt. I like that. I like sweet potatoes. I like maracas, so, okay, again, the sweet potato smoky barbecue. I've definitely experienced this before, so I want to update that ad copy. The last exclusives we have is the lighter side range, where you can get the lightly salted and the reduced fat original. Could not get them for the time of filming, and honestly, I'm glad. I'm not interested in less salt or less fat. Forget it.
So if I were to rank them all, let's see. Okay, worst pizza. Didn't like the bacon. Didn't like this one with the cheese. Let's put the other spicy one just because I'm not so big on spices. Then I'm gonna put the ketchup. I'm gonna put this one here, and probably the paprika is the one that I will reach out for.
Okay, in no particular order, my favorites of the day were the La Miras Habaneras. Very good, taking these home. Cheddar and sour cream, always good. Scorched and series a little disappointed, except for the buffalo. My guy's crying on there, so you know that they're scorching. And I did like the Harvest Blend ones, the sweet potato ones. I sign off on. Here's what sucked. Hot honey, not hot. Very little honey. The Philly cheesesteak thing, yeah, you can't. And this Minecraft suspicious stew. I'm not eating anything called suspicious. That's just weird.
In Italy, our Pringles come in 4 sizes. We've got a 40-gram small size. You may also be able to find a Pop and Go 70 grams tube, but we were not able to track it down. And then you can also get them in the 175 grams standard tube. But if you get the Flame Spicy Pringle range, you only get for the standard tube 160 grams. Even though the tubes look exactly the same. Maybe it's done to protect you. Sometimes Pringles releases a 3-foot tube, which always breaks the internet when it actually comes out. Sadly, it was not in stores right now, but it looks like it's just 3 tubes stacked on top of one another, so visually this is what you will get.
Here in the US, our Pringles come in 5 sizes. Snack Stack, another little one. The Grab and Go, the original tube, Party Stack.
That means that the biggest American size is 10% larger than the biggest Italian one. We wanted to find out how many Pringles are in a tube, but we didn't really want to count them one by one, so we're gonna weigh them and do some math. We should be getting 87.5 Pringles in each tube. Well, the 5 is maybe some like crumbles.
The numbers as we have crunched here at the Food Wars Math Lab is 149 grams total, and if one chip is 1.9 grams, that equals 78.4 chips on average per tube.
In Italy, the original Pringles contain the following.
The original Pringles in the US contain all of this.
There aren't any major differences except for actually coloring that we do add to our Pringles here in Italy. It's annatto. It's made from plants and it's totally natural. I mean, annatto is very dark. It's like a flashy orangey brown, so it's still very far from this coloring. But there is a difference with the US.
The longest ingredient lists for Pringles in the US are these: the scorchin' sour cream and onion with 47 ingredients. Good God. 11 of these are main ingredients and 36 are sub-ingredients. Now, many of these are flavoring, spices, and different dairy products to create the cream flavor. As well as some colorings which you may not have heard of before: red 40, yellow 5, and yellow 6. There's new evidence that red 40 is triggering inflammatory bowel disease because it is disrupting the way the gut barrier works, which is harmful and encourages inflammation. First it scorches your tongue, and then it scorches your bowels. UK manufacturers were made to remove this from their products. However, it can be legally sold by EU imports, providing it is properly labeled, may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Yellow number 5, also called tartrazine, is a type of sodium salt that when eaten, it becomes sulfanic acid. It is this acid that can cause allergic reactions, especially in asthmatic people, and can produce eczema, hives, and also hyperactivity in children. Many Nordic countries have banned its use, but it is approved in the US and UK. Heads up, Harry. Yellow number 6, also called sunset yellow or E110, is similar to tartrazine. And these colors have appeared in a bunch of flavors, these specifically.
Obviously, Pringles is a very well-known brand in Italy, but I think the idea of chips as a thing, for us, chips are not really a thing of their own. They're like part of a family of snacks. In Italy, we tend to have chips on like a snack board with other things, other items like olives or tiny pieces of focaccia. Pringles is not the first brand that I will reach out to. It's funny because to me, all these seem quite a big number. Having to decide between like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flavors, and then you got the original, it's a lot.
We just saw the 500 different flavors they have. Pringles, they're doing every flavor. Good for them. But as far as the classics, the salt and vinegar, the barbecue, the cheddar, sour cream and onion, I feel like Pringles is pretty good at doing most flavors. But they also had the stupid Minecraft flavor, so I don't know.
I don't know, they are exclusive to the Italian market, but they still do seem adapted to the Italian market versus created for the Italian market. If you wanted something very Italian, you should have put an olive oil one. Like, you're really missing an opportunity here. Just put an olive oil flavored chip.
We've talked about some food wars before. In America, chips and snacks are all going after each other. They might be owned by the same company, and they're just like cross-pollinating, but the chip aisle is just all filled with these different iterations of the same kind of ideas. So I see tube snacks all the time.
I've got actually here some of the most popular ones. We've got Fonzies, which are like pretty much like chips. You know, in a way, this is a very traditional Italian chip. You also find these, and these are called crostini. This is like dried bread, you know, it's like a bit like crumbs, you know, how do you say, like crouton. Especially in the south of Italy, where I'm from, Bari, we make these all the time. They're called taralli. Shape is always the same, but you always get them in different flavors. Actually, my grandma makes them, and it's like the best thing ever. And they're made with flour, olive oil, and wine. So this is like the absolute OG Italian snack. The best. My grandma's are better, but this is good.
In the US, our original regular tube, the 5.2 ounce or the 149 gram, is currently $2 at Walmart.
In Italy, our original Pringles in the 175 grams tube will cost you €2.30. That's about $2.47. That means that in Italy we get a 23% price increase, although we do get a few more grams.
We wanted to see how much our biggest portion of Pringles will cost. For a 48 snack stack cup variety pack, it costs $29.72. Divide that by 48 and each snack stack costs 62 cents. Hey, Claudia, just out of curiosity, for common Italian snack foods, how do Pringles compare in price?
Compared to other snacks that you can get in Italy, for example, the taralli, they're actually quite expensive, and you do get only 175 grams. Things like these, they're usually sold at bakeries for like €2-3 per kilo, so that's quite a lot of difference.
In the US, 100 grams of original Pringle chips contain all this. That's almost half of your recommended fat intake for the day.
In Italy, a 100-gram portion of original Pringles contains the following: Our version actually contains more sugar than the US one, but slightly less fat and sodium.
Across all Pringles flavors, for calories, they're all pretty much the same. Now, some have 1 gram extra of carbs, and the sodium is the only thing that fluctuates between flavors.
In Italy, the flavor with the most sodium is ketchup. A 100-gram serving contains 750 milligrams of sodium.
In the US, our saltiest flavor is the Las Miras Habaneros with 1,107 milligrams. That's nearly half of your daily allowance.
From exclusive items to portion sizes, we wanted to find out all the differences between Starbucks in Italy and the US. This is Food Wars.
Our hot drinks in Italy come in 4 sizes: short, tall, grande, and venti.
Our hot drinks come in 5 sizes: short, tall, grande, venti, and the coffee traveler.
2 of these, like grande and venti, are Italian words. Like venti means 20 in Italian, and grande just means big. Let's measure them out to see. The name translates to 20, but it is not.
In the US, iced coffees come in 4 sizes: tall, grande, venti, and Trenta. Trenta is not available as an option for their espresso drinks, but you can get it in stuff like cold brew or their iced teas.
Our iced coffees come in 3 sizes: a tall, grande, and venti. Let's measure the venti to see if it actually is 20 ounces. 18 ounces. So again, not a true venti. It's more like a 18, which is like 18.
We're also gonna weigh some popular food items from Starbucks. Let's start with the butter croissant. So it's a pretty big difference to how much Italy's weighs. It's a lot smaller. Another popular bakery item is the blueberry muffin. Let's see what it weighs.
Here's everything that you find at Starbucks in Italy that you won't find in the US.
Here's everything that you'll find at a Starbucks in the US that you won't find in Italy. We know that Starbucks is popular because of its customization options, so because of that, we're only gonna look at the official menus in the US and Italy.
These are the exclusive hot drinks that you can find at Starbucks here in Italy. Starting from this tiny cup, this one is barley coffee. In Italian, we call it caffè d'orzo, and it's basically an alternative to espresso for those people that cannot really drink coffee. It has the look of coffee. I'm not a fan of this. I think, because I can drink normal coffee, but if I were not able to, I think I'll just force myself to like it just for the, pleasure of still having my espresso. And then we have a vanilla latte. It does smell just like a cappuccino really, but obviously it's like past 11 or so it's like past breakfast time anyway, so cappuccinos are like a no drink for me. I'm not so much into like drinking milk after a certain time of the day. And then we have latte macchiato. And then we have this one. This one is a salted maple and caramel latte. It just smells like sugar. It's nice, yeah, it does taste like fake artificial syrup. And then we got some teas. We got Tivana, English breakfast, jasmine pearl, hibiscus or hibiscus, as we say here, and chamomile. And you may also be able to find the Moroccan, which in Italian just translates into like literally Marocchino. It's like a tiny cappuccino in a way. There's like a bit of coffee and a bit of milk, obviously with like its own like proper ratio. And it's named weirdly after a Moroccan leather that has the same color that this coffee has. It's like a brownish, like light brown leather. That's actually very popular here in the northern region in Milan where we are.
So here are the hot exclusive beverages we bought today. This is the caramel apple spice juice, the apple crisp oat milk macchiato. We have a blonde vanilla latte, and this is a Royal English breakfast tea. We also have these exclusive hot drinks. I feel like I have to try this caramel apple spice juice because it looks nothing like juice. So I'm interested. I think it's just hot apple cider. It doesn't taste bad actually, that tastes pretty good. I'm gonna try the Royal English breakfast tea in honor of Harry. It's not my favorite. But my preference is iced tea, not hot tea, so maybe that's why. And I also like them a lot sweeter.
We have lots of exclusive cold drinks here in Italy. We didn't get everything, but here's what we've got. Starting from a cookies and cream frappuccino. I'm quite surprised this is exclusive to Italy because I always associate cookies and cream with the US. It has held its shape in the delivery. To me, this is a bit of a foreign idea because we just have the boring chocolate flavor. Yeah, like chocolate cookies. Nice, it's like a childhood memory.
Here are all the fraps that we got. So we have the chai cream. This is the mocha cookie frap. This is the apple crisp frap, the pumpkin spice frap, and the white mocha cream frap. I feel very compelled to try this mocha cookie frap because it just looks like a milkshake. It looks like dessert. There's literally cookie crumbles in it. Yeah, it tastes like cold chocolate milk, specifically Nestle syrup chocolate milk. An apple crisp frappuccino sounds kind of special to me, so I really want to taste it. It kind of tastes like a candle. I don't like that. Not at all. But I tried it. The pumpkin spice frap and the apple crisp frap are seasonal items, so you're not going to be able to find them year-round.
And then we have iced cold foam cappuccino. We don't really have a lot of foam here. It also looks quite dark for a cappuccino, but maybe that's just because the foam is gone, but I don't know. They keep putting hearts here, but I'm not really tempted to try this. And then we have an iced salted maple and caramel latte. Does smell a lot like sugar, actually. Not even like maple. It actually just smells like sugar, and you can see the sugar at the top. I did live in Canada for 1 year. Let's see if it does actually taste like maple. I don't know if I can advocate for like Canadians out there, but for what it's worth, I'm gonna try it. There's no maple in there, definitely no. It's like sugar, not even caramel, just a lot of sugar. I feel like a Canadian would never order this, but that would be another episode of Food Wars. And then we have iced chai tea oat latte. Again, quite surprised that this is exclusive to Italy because we're not so big on like chai. I don't know. For some reason, I really like chai as like the tea version, but I've never really quite liked it with milk.
So we have cold brews, but we also have nitro cold brews, which are a little bit frothier and thicker than the regular cold brew. This is the pumpkin cream cold brew. This is the cinnamon caramel cream nitro cold brew. And here we have the vanilla sweet cream nitro cold brew. I already know that I love the pumpkin cream cold brew. I kind of want to try this cinnamon caramel one. No, not for me. It's a little weirdly sweet for something that doesn't have any milk in it, I don't think. Let me try this one. This one's really good. I really like the vanilla sweet cream cold brew. That just tastes like a really good foamy coffee.
We then have this one, the Very Berry Hibiscus Refresher. And then we have a matcha frappe. Again, I don't know how this is specific to Italy because I think the whole matcha craze has kind of maybe spared us in a way, but there's no other place where you will find any matcha flavoring because I think our green thing is pistachio. Like we just don't have space for two green things to compete. Let's give it a try. I've never actually had it in a frappuccino. Yeah, tastes like matcha. Just very artificial matcha.
We have a bunch of other iced coffees that you can get. Here they all are. And today we actually bought the iced flat white. I've had this before and I think I really like it, but I just want to take a sip again. Still good, still delicious. It's a little milky, but it's really tasty. We also have several iced teas. Here we have the pumpkin cream chai, the matcha lemonade, a peach green tea, the London Fog iced latte, an iced passion tea, the frozen strawberry acai lemonade, and the frozen mango dragon fruit lemonade. Starbucks sells these Evolution Fresh juices. This one is orange, apple, mango, pineapple, and acerola. That sounds really good. I've never had matcha and lemonade together, so let's taste it. That's actually not bad. I thought I was gonna hate it. It's actually pretty good. Let's try the London Fog tea latte. No, so candly. I feel like I'm gonna keep saying that. Why does everything taste a little weird today? I do wanna try one of these frozen refreshers. Let's see what this strawberry acai tastes like. It's really good. It tastes like strawberry lemonade. It's not frozen anymore, but it's tasty.
We then have a bunch of smoothies. We have this innocent blue juice. Then the names are actually funny because there are play of words here. This one is called Fabuloso. Then we have a pink juice from Innocent. This one has another play of words. It's like Rosa Aiosa. And if you're Italian watching this, yes, I'm from the south, because you can tell by the way we pronounce our O's. We then have these tiny ones. This juice is mango, passion fruit, and apple. And another one with strawberry and banana. Yeah, they look very nice and natural. We have other cold drinks. This one is a Chinotto, and they're all from this brand Tomarchio. I've actually never heard of it, but it looks like a fancy Chinotto to me. So Chinotto is an Italian drink made with bergamot. We normally just have it from San Pellegrino, which is like a more commercial brand. It does taste good. It's a bit like the Italian version of Coca-Cola. My parents' generation, they were having these, not Coke. We then have a red orange. We have sparkling soda from the same brand. And we have lemonade, which looks very nice. And then we picked up also this, it's just cold infused water. In Italian, it's called infuso a freddo. And actually, we've got more. Here are the rest of the cold drinks.
Here is the US only customizable drink that we created. This is a cafe vanilla coffee frap with half and half. The cup is lined with caramel sauce. It's got brown sugar syrup, mocha sauce, and cinnamon dolce sprinkles, and also, I think, some cookie crumbles. There are some mysterious crumbles on top that I have no idea where they came from because I didn't ask for them, but it looks fun. This is gonna give me the worst tummy ache, I already know. That is the sweetest drink I think I've ever tasted in my life. It's too much, absolutely too much. It is really fun that Starbucks lets you customize anything, pretty much anything, because this would never have been made otherwise.
There is a lot of food at Starbucks here in Italy. Let's start from the savory options. We've got your dear salmon bagel. I don't know, does that have cream cheese in it? No. It does look like just salmon and some herbs, some like sad salad. Yeah, this is also cooked salmon, and aren't you big on like smoked salmon over there? I don't know, Nico, you are in New York. What do you think from a New Yorker point of view? Does that look like a good bagel?
No, it does not, but maybe it tastes better than it looks.
And then we have some toasts. We have ham and cheese. Looks like an honest toast. And then we got the same version, just with 3 cheeses. I'll be curious to know which cheeses they are, because they just say 3 cheeses. And then we've got baked focaccia with ham. Well, okay, first of all, this is not focaccia. I mean, I don't know what this is. It looks great, actually. It looks very nice and fluffy, but this is not focaccia because it just doesn't have this shape. And it's too fluffy. It just looks like bread to me. Yeah, it just looks quite nice, actually. Like a normal sandwich you would find. It's quite refreshing, because I don't know when this is going out, but like the amount of burgers and like things filled with weird sauces that I had to try for this show is just unbelievable. And Starbucks, I don't know, but like it looks like you really made it in Italy. You're like serving actually Italian food, so thank you.
And here we have some of our exclusive breakfast items. This is the Impossible Sandwich, the bacon and Gruyere egg bites, the bacon sausage egg wrap, the bacon Gouda and egg sandwich, and here's the berry trio parfait. Let's take a bite of the Impossible Sandwich. I've had this before and I feel like I mostly like it. It's just like a little bit weird if you let it sit for too long. I feel like for a not real sausage patty, this actually tastes pretty good. I've always thought that the egg bites were like some sort of genius move, even though Starbucks definitely didn't invent them. My favorite are the egg white bites. These don't look edible anymore, but I'll take a bite. That's really good, actually. I think it's just because I got a mouthful of bacon, but it tastes really good.
And then we have a bunch of sandwiches. Here we call sandwiches tramezzini, but it's kind of translation. We have this one with salmon and avocado. Looks nice, even though the options outside of the box look look delicious, so I wouldn't go for the boxed one. We have this one with a porchetta, which is roasted pork from like Rome and like the Roman region. Very, very good. And yeah, if you're ever around there, they also do a lot of nice festivals, so check it out. This one has porchetta and mushrooms. And the last one is this one with zucchini and eggplants. We also got salads. We have chicken and cheese, what looks like grated parmesan. And then we got tuna and feta with croutons and olives again. This is all you need for a salad. The only Caesar we know here is Julius Caesar. I know that's bad, but actually it's true. It's just very, very cliche, but it's true. Like, we don't like Caesar salad. And then we've got this one, it's called pincho with cured ham, artichoke sauce and mozzarella. Okay, interesting shape, looks funny. I don't really know what a pincho is. It may be something from like another Italian region. I'm not so familiar with it actually. To be honest, this artichoke is a bit of a joke because there's not a lot of it. Let's try it out and see. That tastes like artichoke. Actually, it tastes quite natural. So very nice. Yeah, it's not flavoring. Yeah, I like this one. We then have some stuffed croissants because here we're not French, so we're not scared of putting things in croissants like our friends across the border. So they're quite similar. This one has cured ham and scamorza, it looks like. Little salad thing. Honestly, I don't really like it. Doesn't taste like much and it just ruins everything visually. Next croissant we have, I think it's the same cheese, just with cooked ham instead. In Italy, we actually do eat a lot of savory croissants. Sorry, French people. We usually eat them as like tiny bites in like an aperitif. They serve them, they're like really, really this size, they're very tiny. We also have this one, which is supposed to be a focaccia with a plant-based schnitzel. I mean, honestly, this is not focaccia. I mean, quite clearly there's been some like mistake in the menu because it's just a sandwich. And I don't know, why do plant-based things always have very sad buns? Like this, why don't you use this one? This looks much nicer. This is like just very sad and plain. We do have some snacks as well. We have some mixed fruits and nuts. We have roasted and salted mixed nuts. And then we have cheese snacks. Okay, this looks like it's a thing because McDonald also has those like tiny parmesans, those like tiny parmesan snacks, and Starbucks seems to be following suit and just giving you some cheese snacks. It just says it's like a semi-hard cheese, and it's only made with 3 ingredients. Nice, you know, milk, salt, and rennet. Okay, no. I'm a bit disappointed. I was expecting actual cheese, like tiny bits of cheese. This is like, it's like a chip. Yeah, they're cheesy. They're not too bad actually.
Moving on to our more lunchy options, this is the grilled cheese on sourdough, the tomato mozzarella sandwich on focaccia. They also offer a ham and Swiss on a baguette and a turkey provolone pesto on ciabatta that we did not get. I want to take a bite of this grilled cheese. The bread actually looks pretty good. There's not gonna be a cheese bowl. It's gonna crack in half if I do that. It's literally so solid from sitting here all day. Okay, wait, it looks like there's no cheese even in this. That's so weird. It must be like a lighter cheese. I've had way better grilled cheese, but this bread's actually pretty tasty. This sandwich seems inspired by Italian flavors, so I'm very shocked that it's not on the Italian menu. That is one sad looking sandwich. I'm gonna take a bite from the middle, don't be mad. It's just that all the filling has like moved to the center of the bread. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not a bad sandwich. It mostly tastes like pesto. We also have a variety of protein boxes. Here we have the PB&J protein box. This used to be my lunch every single day when I was in college.
Starbucks in Italy has a lot of bakery options. This I'm very excited about because I think we do actually associate Starbucks with like a breakfast cafe in a way. Starting from a maple and pecan braid. Then we have a cinnamon swirl. Yeah, looks nice and fluffy. And then we've got the saddest looking croissant ever. This is the vegan one. It's just like a very unpleasant brown. Is this what the lack of butter makes? Like just something very brown? It doesn't feel that great. And like inside, it just actually It cuts a little bit like a bread, well, in a way. Right, bread is vegan, yeah. So here's some bread in the shape of a croissant. And then we got another croissant. This one is multi-grain and honey. And then we got a plain one. Very good lamination, actually, Starbucks. Look, there's a lot of layers. Actually, Starbucks called these croissants French croissants in Italian as well. And they actually do look quite different compared to the Italian croissants that I'm used to. Italian croissants, they're not made of layers of dough and butter. Let's see. A plain one, I will have it only if it's laminated this way. I think the Italian one is just really meant to be filled. So I'm curious to see how the others actually look and feel, just because they are still the French ones, but they are filled. So we got this one here with apricot jam. Let's check it out. Yeah, lots of jam. Looks quite nice. And then we have the green thing here, here in Italy that is now matcha. It's pistachio. Tastes like a nutty spread. Quite a nice spread. There's not a lot of it though. And final one, we got the custard. This also looks quite nice. I'm just trying to see how much custard there is in here. There's a lot. It's a bit eggy as well, which is what I would look for in a custard. Not too lemony, just a hint, and like a bit of vanilla. And apparently you can also get a hazelnut croissant, but we were not able to get it. And then we have a double chocolate cookie and a hazelnut donut. Yeah, we're starting to enter foreign territory here. Maybe a bit sad compared to what's coming after, which are these mini donuts, quite cute and colorful. And then we have some brownies. We have a caramel crumble brownie, and then we have a triple chocolate brownie. I actually quite like brownies. It's one of those sort of foreign cakes that I'm kind of very used to, and I don't mind having it. Let's see if we do it well here in Italy. This is like the ones I'm used to that I've had. And then we have this one. It's a raspberry and coconut loaf cake. It does look a bit like a typical Italian cake. I had no idea that this type of cakes were called loaf cakes, but it seems quite accurate. Not quite convinced about the stuff at the top. It just doesn't seem necessary. I would have put it inside just to flavor the dough rather than just put it at the top. And then we have a strawberry cheesecake. Then you may also be able to find apple pie, apricot filled rings, custard and raisin swirl, then a vanilla and chocolate muffin. That's also available in triple chocolate, brownie and orange, mini chocolate muffins, carrot cake, that can also be red velvet and chocolate cake, and a milk chocolate gold coin.
The US also has a lot of baked goods. We have a couple of the iconic Starbucks cake pops. I want to take a bite of this cookies and cream one. That's so good. This is the blueberry scone, the everything bagel, the petite vanilla scone, the coffee cake, even though it looks like someone sat on it. It looks a little smushed, but it's very good. The incredible, incomparable lemon loaf. It's delicious. The glazed donut. I did say that Italy's bagel didn't look that good, not that ours looks any better, but I just want to taste the everything bagel to see what the flavor is giving. It's like mediocre. It's not that good on flavor, and it's not a great texture. I would only reach for a Starbucks bagel if I was like going on a flight or something and this was just like my only option. I don't think that I would ever purchase it with a million other good bagel options around me. So the pumpkin loaf and the pumpkin cream cheese muffin are seasonal exclusives, along with the baked apple croissant, which was not available today. I feel like people are buying them like crazy. They're really good.
And if you want the little snacks, there are also these options. We got yogurt with wildflower honey and yogurt with berries and jam. Then we got some fruits. You can also get pineapple. And then we've got just a fruit salad. And finally, we've got this thing, the cookie straw. So is this how you're supposed to have it? This feels like something a child will have. It's like I'm alone at home and I'm like 12. I'm having a very calorific drink with like a weird straw. Yeah, weird. Actually don't mind the straw per se, but just the idea seems so ridiculous.
We also got a few iconic Starbucks checkout snacks. So this is the Marshmallow Dream Bar, we have the Madeleines, and we also have the Vanilla Almond Biscotti. I see these at every single Starbucks I go to, and I'm always tempted to buy one. I kind of want to try these Madeleines. I don't think I've ever had a Madeleine before. That's pretty good. It kind of tastes like a cakey sugar cookie. I don't know if it's supposed to taste like that, but it does taste like that.
You may also know Starbucks for the Starbucks Reserve roasteries that are very much present in the US. You can also find them in other countries. And actually there's one here in Italy too, in Milan, that opened in 2018. And the roasteries are famous for having different types of coffee that have the rarest coffee that you can find at Starbucks.
They offer experiences at these roasteries where they demonstrate different ways to make the coffee through blending, brewing, and infusions. And they also have wine, beers, cocktails, some of which include coffee. They have a lot of food options too. Each roastery is a little different in its architecture, so it's really interesting just to have a look around.
Unfortunately, we were not able to visit the roastery in this trip, but we actually went in 2018. So we're gonna play some footage of our visit. I was there.
We took a visit to one of the roasteries here in New York City. It was really cool to see how they make these different drinks, and everything in there is so fancy compared to a regular Starbucks. These are the drinks exclusive to the New York roastery that we wanted to try. Let's start with the hazelnut Bianco latte. I love hazelnut, so it's really good. It's really, really, really good. I feel like it tastes better than any other Starbucks coffee I've had. Let's try the whiskey barrel-aged cold brew. This is intriguing to me. I hate whiskey, but there's no real whiskey in this. Okay, wait. It tastes like there is whiskey in it, but there isn't. I made sure to say like alcohol-free. What I think from what I'm understanding is that they might age this in the whiskey barrels once the whiskey is removed from those barrels, but it still tastes very strong.
Spirit-free whiskey barrel aged. Okay.
It's spirit-free, but the spirits are lurking. You can still taste it.
This was actually invented in Italy and then, yeah, launched again, recreated at the roastery. This is the oleato caffè latte, and oleato just literally means oiled, and it's just caffè latte with a shot of olive oil. Apparently, this is the CEO of Starbucks that traveled to Italy, to Sicily, and just saw some people having shots of olive oil and coffee, and thought it would be a good idea to roll this out internationally. And for some reason, thought that all Italians were actually doing it. I don't know, it's the first time I hear it. Like, I would be quite happy to have a shot of olive oil for just energy. But I don't know if I would like it in my coffee. That seems like a bit too much. It's like, oh, what are two things Italians are associated with? Olive oil and coffee. Let's just put them all together and make it a drink. It's green. It's green. And obviously like, the oil is floating on the coffee. Well, so the idea is that they should emulsify, but you know, it's been sitting here for a bit because we've been doing all the filming, so perhaps that's why they separated. It just smells like coffee. Let's try it out. I don't taste much the olive oil, which is okay. It leaves you a different feeling on the lips, like the same feeling that you get when you like bite into a very oily thing.
This is the moment that I've been dreading this entire day. The oleato cafe lattes. These are basically lattes with a bunch of olive oil in them. I don't know whose idea this was. It doesn't sound like a good idea to me, but let's see which one is better, iced or not iced. It's not bad. I can definitely taste that there's oil in this, but it's not like aggressively oily in my mouth, which is what I was really dreading. It's really not terrible. I think it's the oat milk that's helping cover up some of what's happening. This looks terrible. The iced latte has completely like separated, so the top is just a layer of olive oil, which means I'm going to get a mouthful of olive oil upon first sip. It just tastes like a mouthful of olive oil. Let me mix it with a straw and see if that helps. To be clear, this didn't look like this when they first gave it to us. It's just been sitting around for a while. It tastes better, but still mostly tastes like olive oil. I think if I had to get an oleato again, I would only get it hot just because it covers up all the olive oil flavor, which kind of defeats the purpose of getting one of these, but they're not terrible.
It's quite hard actually for me to think that Starbucks is actually competing with the cafes that you can find here, just because the offer is very, very different. Like, it's the only place where you can find drinks this size, this elaborate, and with this much cream and like milk and syrups and all this stuff.
I would say in general, Starbucks is definitely huge here. You can find them everywhere. I feel like you're either a Dunkin' person or you're a Starbucks person, and it's very common for a chain like Starbucks to be somebody's everyday coffee shop. I will say, if you live in a major city with a lot of other options, a lot of different coffee shops, you might not head to Starbucks all the time, but it is one of the more popular coffee options in places like suburbs.
It's hard to say that's popular because it is not really present everywhere. Obviously, it is in Milan, Rome, and like the big cities, but you won't find it in a village. What we do, I'm from like a medium-sized town in Italy, but in the evening, I'll go out to a small town. You know, during the day, I'll go out for a day trip in a small town. I won't live there, but I will hang around there. That's where you don't find the chains. And I think that is what, you know, still makes Starbucks perceived as something a bit foreign, because you still don't see it in these tiny towns and you still see the local cafe. Like, it's just in general, the idea of chains doesn't really resonate well. In terms of the actual coffees, like the long coffees, I don't know actually if they get lots of orders from like Italians. I think I would either go personally just for a simple espresso or from the elaborate, like for the elaborate things, because they are a bit like an ice cream to me.
Treat yourself, but also like if I see you drinking that cookie crumble mocha frap at 9 in the morning, I'm gonna slap it out of your hand. Grow up, please.
Just the culture of like the big drink to take away, to like drink on the go, drink in your car, that's just not how things work around here.
People really love the Starbucks seasonal menus. I think every year when fall or Christmas time rolls around, everyone gets super excited to see what new stuff is on the menu, what old stuff is coming back.
I mean, yeah, speaking of the food, I think they've done a very good job sort of adapting to the Italian, you know, flavors. The drinks are a little bit different. There are some things like cookies and cream that are just not Italian. We all know that Starbucks is a big American chain, and I think they obviously want to keep a part of that because, you know, Italians are curious about it as well. Unfortunately, Starbucks does not list ingredients on its website. We did try to get in contact, but we're still waiting for a reply.
The US, however, does provide all of the ingredients for their full menu. We thought it would be interesting to see what's in the Oleato range, since both US and Italy have this available. The Oleato Cafe Latte with oat milk contains oat milk, which is just water and oats, canola oil, dipotassium phosphate, calcium carbonate, tricalcium phosphate, sea salt, dicalcium phosphate, riboflavin, vitamin A, vitamin D2, vitamin B12, brewed espresso, which is just water and coffee, and extra virgin olive oil. The exciting thing about this drink is the addition of extra virgin olive oil, which is mostly associated with a Mediterranean diet. It does ramp up the calories compared to a normal latte, which with 2% milk is 190 calories, but there's been a lot of research surrounding the benefits of extra virgin olive oil, particularly around preventing diseases and decreasing cholesterol. Plus, the Oleato latte has been fortified with vitamins, so sounds pretty good to me, even though I'd never order this again. In the US, a venti caramel frappuccino is $6.75 or €6.37. Keep in mind that's a New York price. The prices might vary slightly depending on what state you're in.
In Italy, a caramel frappuccino is €5.70. That translates to roughly $6.19. So it actually works out cheaper here in Italy.
In the US, a venti cappuccino is $6.25 or €5.90.
In Italy, a venti cappuccino is €3.40. In dollars, that translates into $3.69. To be honest, they're kind of fair, judging by how big the things are. Coffee is always quite cheap, actually, in Italy. It's usually around €1. Lately, it has gone up a little bit, but like if you pay 150, it's already very expensive.
Make note of the fun Colonel Sanders doing a cartwheel. Wasn't this guy like 70 when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken? So no way he's doing it. If he's doing that, it's against his will. That's moments before the ambulance was called.